Hi everyone, please subscribe to my channel. Blood Immortal Venerable, see playlist for other chapters and novels. Join now our Telegram channel now and enjoy exclusive early access. t.me/blood_immortal_official. I do not translate the novels. Credits goes to original translator and author of the novel. I only make it as an audiobook so it would be easier to just listen while doing other things. Credits goes to the author of the novel. I convert stories to audiobook for mental health, for multitasking purpose, for accessibility and time saving. Listening to audiobook is also beneficial for people who have disability. It improves our listening skills and improve our English comprehension, vocabulary and other things. So, thank you for listening. Thank you and thank you very much for your support. Chapter 921 Zero in the Half-Step True Spirit Realm. First update. Finally half-step true spirit. Zero muttered. He feels that he is much stronger now than before, and he has successfully condensed the Supreme True Spirit, but it is not a perfect Supreme True Spirit, and it seems to be somewhat incomplete. But this kind of True Spirit is definitely beyond the Supreme True Spirit, but it has not reached the level of the true Supreme True Spirit. If there is a level to describe it, it can be called the half-step Supreme True Spirit. Strange, I was also promoted as a 9-star peak God General, and now I have cultivated my soul, chaotic power, and physical body to the extreme, and I have practiced multiple chaotic supernatural powers, and all of them have reached the limit level. This is already the real limit. Why hasn't the real Supreme Spirit been condensed? Could it be that there is no Supreme Spirit in chaos? Zero felt very strange, and was still a little unwilling in his heart. When he was relaxed again soon. Perhaps this is how the Supreme True Spirit rumored from the outside world is. After all, I have reached the real limit. I don't think anyone can accumulate more than me. Zero thought. It's a pity that he didn't pay attention to the Heavenly Sovereign ranking at all. If he did, he should know that before he became a half-step True Spirit, his rank on the Heavenly Sovereign list was surpassed by Etienne at 29, and it was still very early, surpassed before. If he knew, he should know that his strength when he was Tianjin was far inferior to that of Etienne now. At that time, he might completely doubt his life, and he would be even more unwilling. It's time to kill Wanfadouzi, but after all, he is a Taoist ancestor of the Zushan lineage. I have no background. If you kill Wanfadouzi on the bright side, the Zushan lineage can't do anything to me for the time being, but I'm afraid I will have to do it in the future. Endure the attack of the true ancestor of the Zushan lineage, and even the Tao ancestor. Zero thought. Of course, he can also choose to join a party, so he doesn't need to be afraid of the Zushan lineage. But he disdains to join a party. He also obtained the inheritance of a Taoist ancestor, the only thing lacking is resources. Besides, he didn't like the so-called big forces at all. If you can't kill it, then assassinate it. Zero decided. He also knew that Etienne had the ability to move the Great Realm, and his life-saving ability was also very powerful, but it was definitely not impossible to kill. No matter what kind of life-saving means, once it exceeds the limit, it will definitely die. He is very confident in his own strength, and has mastered many extreme chaotic supernatural powers. The strongest attack-type chaotic supernatural power is the Blood Demon Collapse technique, which ranks 90th on the Chaos Supernatural Powers list. Once this chaotic supernatural power is used, the speed is extremely fast, and it directly destroys the flesh and soul of the enemy. As long as the opponent has a flaw, it is difficult to block this chaotic supernatural power. With his half-step True Spirit Realm cultivation, even some true monarchs can be killed with one blow. Killing a heavenly monarch, he felt that there was no problem. It can be said that, looking at today's big universe, he ignores anyone, no one can be his opponent, and he kills whoever he wants. Rampage, that is his current state. If he is not afraid of the true ancestors and Taoist ancestors in the chaos, he even wants to unify the universe. Wow! Zero shuttled away, preparing to go to the territory where the Zushan temple was located. After Etienne's Xuanshuju Destiny chapter was completed, he continued to use various rare resources to temper his body, soul and chaotic divine power, and even continued to expand his inner universe. Without lack of resources, he will push all aspects of himself to the limit level. In addition, other chaotic supernatural powers are also cultivated one by one. He found that the more chaotic supernatural powers he cultivated, the higher his realm would be, which would increase his potential to a certain extent. Although it wasn't many, it was at least a kind of background, which was extremely beneficial to the realm of half-step True Spirit. Moreover, after the chaotic supernatural power reaches the limit level, the prototype of the avenue will be improved to a certain extent, and the prototype of the avenue will grow rapidly. This is also what Yi Tian only knew after he cultivated the first chaos divine ability to the limit level. In fact, many heavenly sovereigns do not know, because many heavenly sovereigns have no chance at all to cultivate a chaotic supernatural power to the extreme level, and they may not even be able to reach the perfect state. In addition, Yi Tian was not personally instructed by Taoist ancestor, and many of his cultivation depended on himself, so he was not very clear. Ever since he knew that the chaos divine ability was directly related to the growth of the Tao prototype, he took the time to cultivate the chaos divine ability to the extreme level. Under such circumstances, Yi Tian's avenue prototype is getting longer and longer. Rapid growth from 5,000 meters to 6,000 meters, 7,000 meters. Gradually, Yi Tian's avenues have grown to tens of thousands of meters away. Other people's avenue prototypes are only 100 meters wide or 200 meters wide, but Yi Tian's avenue prototypes have reached more than 10,000 meters away, and Yi Tian can continue to condense the avenue prototypes. His endless avenues can be almost infinitely widened. This is something no one else has. Therefore, Yi Tian's 10,000 meter long Tao prototype is even stronger than other people's tens of thousands of meters Tao prototype, even stronger than a complete avenue. The Great Avenue is only 100,000 meters wide, and its width is only 100 meters. Of course, Yi Tian has never seen the true avenue of consummation, so naturally he doesn't know the power in it. Million years, 230, 2 million years, 3 million years. Yi Tian has been retreating and cultivating, and Ling, who has been squatting in secret, is a little urgent. He has been waiting for a long time, and if he continues to wait, it will even delay his cultivation. He has only just entered the half-step true spirit realm, and the next step is to continuously integrate the real spirit with the physical body. Only when the fusion degree reaches 100% can he transform and be promoted to the real spirit realm, thereby becoming a true monarch. The fusion transition is very long. Most of the half-step true spirit powerhouses are in retreat and fusion, looking forward to completing the transformation as soon as possible and advancing to the true spirit realm. Moreover, the half-step true spirit realm does not dare to let the physical body suffer heavy damage, otherwise it will be difficult to progress for a long time, which is also the reason why half-step true spirits rarely appear. At the beginning, the half-step true spirit of the demonic sect appeared because of Xing Chenjing. They had to kill Yi Tian at all costs, otherwise the half-step true spirit of the demonic sect would not appear. Zero is now preparing to kill Yi Tian with a single blow, and then completely hides himself, and then chooses to be born after breaking through the real spirit realm. Unexpectedly, he is tall. Won't Wanfa Daozi come out for a walk? I heard that he has not practiced for a long time. Logically speaking, this kind of newcomer Tianjin will not be in retreat for too long at one time. Zero depression thought. Chapter 922 Head-to-Head Fight 0. Second. Suddenly, Zero thought of Yi Tian's origins. He was a native of the great universe, and he was the heavenly king of the human race. Wanfa Daozi is a human being. I heard that many indigenous people value their hometown. Wanfa Daozi should also value the human race, right? Zero guessed. He has no feelings for his former race, so he doesn't quite understand this feeling. However, if Yi Tian values the human race very much, if he starts with the human race, he should be able to lead Yi Tian. Of course, he couldn't let Zushan Temple know that he was dealing with the human race, otherwise he would be exposed. Swish. Zero shuttled to the territory of the human race, secretly attacked many earthly respects and gods of the human race, and directly bombarded these people to death. However, he couldn't do anything about the human race located in the core area of the human race. There is the strongest defense formation and monitoring formation there, and even if he wants to make a move, there is no way to completely cover up the traces. But as long as there are enough human races secretly beheaded, Yi Tian will definitely be disturbed. As more and more human races died, the top human race began to panic. In the core area of the human race, a group of human race gods are discussing. Hunyuan Tianjin, Kunwu Tianjin, Yi Tian's wife Xiao Yu, and his younger sister Yi Yu were also among them. But the people who really control the affairs of the human race are Tianjin Hunyuan, Tianjin Kunwu and others. Many people of the human race have disappeared recently, and even some earthly venerables and gods have been lost. Several geniuses have disappeared for no reason. According to the soul lamps of some geniuses who stayed in the supreme hall of the human race, they have fallen. Kun Wushan Jun frowned. Who did it? Hunyuan Tianjin wondered, although our human race is not strong, but it is backed by the Zushan Temple, and the Daozi of Wanfa is also from our human race, who dares to deal with our human race? The person who shoots must be Tianjin. We are only relatively weak Tianjin, I'm afraid we can't deal with this situation. Yi Yu said. If not, I will inform my brother. I can only ask Wanfa Daozi to take action. Hunyuan Tianjin nodded. Hall of Fake Heaven. Yi Tian was in retreat and received a summons from his sister and wife. Someone deal with the human race. Yi Tian frowned. For the first time, he thought of the demonic sound sect. After all, the last time he caused the demon sound sect to suffer heavy losses, the demon sound sect definitely wanted to kill him. No, the demonic sound sect should know my strength, they can't kill me at all. And my strength is far from before, I don't know how many times stronger, they should not dare to anger me. Yi Tian thought to himself. After pondering for a while, he still hadn't thought of who the enemy was. Anyway, let's go back. Yi Tian got up and left the Hall of Void Heaven, and flew towards the territory of the human race. Somewhere in human territory, Zero bared his teeth and grinned, his face full of viciousness and excitement. Wanfa Daozi, you finally came out of the Hall of Void Heaven. Swish, his body disappeared instantly. After Yi Tian returned to the human race, he saw his wife and sister, and asked about the situation at the top of the human race. It is a pity that the high-level human race doesn't know anything, only that the mysterious enemy is at least a Tianjin, and it is not weak, otherwise it is impossible to silently destroy so many people of the human race. Afterwards, Yi Tian personally went to the accident site to investigate. One starry sky continent, one world, Yi Tian kept exploring the clues. On a certain star continent, Yi Tian came here. At this time the human race on this starry sky continent had all dissipated, and his body was instantly shattered by a terrifying force. The dead human race is not detached, and there are soul imprints in the long river of time and space, and they can all be resurrected at some cost. But one day the murderer could not be found, and the human race was always in danger. Just when Yi Tian was about to leave, countless blood demon powers descended. Boom! The void in a radius of hundreds of millions of miles collapsed in an instant, and even this starry sky continent was completely turned into ashes. Go to hell! Zero's figure appeared. He just performed the blood demon disintegration technique with all his strength, and collapsed this area at the fastest speed, focusing on attacking Yi Tian. No matter how quick Yi Tian's reaction is, there is no time to use the Great Realm to teleport away. Should he be dead? Zero looked at the empty starry sky and muttered. Zero, it's you. A sound of nothingness came. The next moment, a figure appeared. It was Yi Tian, A the Daozi of Wanfa. How is it possible? How can you not die? Zero looked at the sudden appearance of Yi Tian in astonishment, very unbelievable. Under his blood demon collapsing technique, Yi Tian was not dead yet, and he didn't seem to suffer any injuries. Zero, your strength is indeed very strong, and you have stepped into a half-step true spirit. It's a pity that you don't understand my strength. If it was a few million years ago, the blow you just hit might have severely damaged or killed me. But unfortunately, your time to assassinate me is too late, my current strength is beyond your imagination. Yi Tian said coldly, HMPH, you are nothing but your heavenly monarch, how strong can you be? The only thing that surprises me is that your life-saving ability is too strong. But simply relying on life-saving supernatural powers, you shouldn't be able to stop my blood demon collapse technique just now. It seems that you must have used the life-saving trump card that your master gave you. Zero guessed. It's you who are ignorant and ignorant. I used my own strength to block your blood demon disintegration technique, not a life-saving trump card. Zero, I don't have any hatred with you. You missed. The battle for treasures is not a life and death struggle. But you actually killed my people and tried to assassinate me. Today, you must die. Yi Tian said angrily, just because you want to kill me. Zero disdain, sneered, eternal do not put out fire, fall. Yi Tian said, boom, endless eternity, unextinguishing, is formed from the void, and it kills Zero from all directions. Zero frowned slightly when he saw that eternity did not put out the fire. He recognized this chaotic supernatural power, but it never extinguished the fire. This is the 25th terrifying supernatural power in the Chaos Supernatural Powers list, and Yi Tian has also cultivated this chaotic supernatural power to the extreme level. In addition, Yi Tian's own strength is also extremely strong, which makes the power of this chaotic supernatural power extremely terrifying. Zero sensed a crisis from this chaotic supernatural power, a crisis of extreme concentration. Impossible. I used to be one of the strongest heavenly sovereigns in chaos, and the heavenly sovereign ranked #1 in the universe, and now I have been promoted to the half-step true spirit realm, condensing the half-step high true spirit, and no matter how strong Wanfa Daozi is, he is only a heavenly monarch, how could he be my opponent? I don't believe it. Zero roared. The stars are immortal. Blood demon body. Eternal immortality. Zero inspired all kinds of powerful physiques, and his power reached a terrifying level. In order to become stronger, he once practiced a lot of chaos body refinement techniques. His body was terrifying to the extreme, and many physiques were added to his body, which made him far superior to other heavenly sovereigns, and his life-saving ability was extremely powerful. At the same time, Zero used an ice-type chaotic supernatural power, trying to resist the eternal non-extinguishing fire, but he did not expect that the eternal non-extinguishing fire was too terrifying, and instantly burned his ice-type chaotic supernatural power. Wow! A wisp of eternal immortality rushed out of the layers of blockade and landed on Zero's body. In an instant, the battle armor flesh and blood on Zero's body began to burn. With Zero's strength and background, he can naturally annihilate the eternal non-extinguishing fire on his body, but this time it is fighting time, naturally there is no time for him to put out the fire. Quote. Wanfa Daozi, you are courting death. Zero kill went to Yitian, A sent AA ready to fight Yitian at close range. Yitian was not afraid and fought against Zero head-on. Blood River Immortality, Gold Devouring Supernatural Ability, Time and Space Transfer, Void Heaven Dao Body. Yitian's methods emerge in an endless stream, whether it is speed, defense, or attack, they have all reached a terrifying level, and Yitian's background is too strong. Zero's foundation is very strong, but it is far inferior to Yitian, A sent AA, so the limit that he can reach when he is a Tianjin is naturally far inferior to Yitian. Although the Zero breakthrough has reached the half-step true spirit realm, this is only a small level breakthrough. The physical body, chaotic divine power, and divine soul are not actually enhanced much, and the increase in real combat power is mainly the increase of the true spirit. However, after the increase of the true spirit, Zero was only slightly more powerful than Yitian. The key is that Yitian's battle is too long, and he is not afraid of injuries at all, the whole person is almost immortal, and the defense is almost indestructible. Even Zero's blood demon collapsing technique did not break Yitian's defense, and other means naturally couldn't break Yitian's defense. The two kept fighting, Yitian's injury was almost no, and Zero's injury began to increase. After fighting for a long time, the nearby territory was broken by the two, but Yitian's aura became stronger and stronger, while Zero's aura gradually weakened. The battle between the two gradually attracted the attention of Good Zushin Temple, and even attracted the attention of some other forces. However, no one dared to approach. Very far, Moon Tianjin, Pengyu Tianjin and others came here and saw the fight between Yitian and Zero. This, Tianjin Yueyu was shocked. Wanfa Daozi is so powerful, can he fight head-on with Zero who has broken through to the half-step true spirit realm? Not only was Moon swallowing Tianjin extremely shocked, Tianjin was also extremely surprised. Wanfa Daozi is absolutely invincible, even the strongest emperor in the era of chaos. Pengyu Tianjin praised. Would you like to help? A goddess asked. I can't help. Tianjin swallowing Moon said. Others who get involved will probably die. Besides, our strength is too weak, and entering Wanfa is only a hindrance to Daozi. When the major forces saw Yitian and Zero fighting each other, they were all shocked, and they were all shocked by Yitian. Of course, they were also very surprised by Zero's combat power. This level of combat power has far surpassed other half-step true spirit powerhouses. Without Yitian, A sent AA Zero would definitely be the #1 powerhouse in the current universe. After fighting for a long time, Zero gradually weakened. He was cowardly. Escape. I can't fight any longer, otherwise I will definitely be consumed by Wanfa Daozi. Damn it, how can there be so many terrifying heavenly monarchs, this is not realistic at all. Zero said helplessly. Chapter 923 Curse. 3rd. Zero is more confident about whether he can escape from Yitian's pursuit. Yitian has the time and space transfer technique, and the speed is indeed very fast, but he has been in the chaos for countless years, and he has a lot of life-saving things on his body. There are also treasures that can instantly move super long distances, and there are also treasures that isolate time and space and block breath, etc. Wait. Wanfa Daozi, I will definitely kill you next time. Zero activated a space-time treasure, and his figure disappeared instantly. Escape. Yitian sneered. Zero's escape treasure is indeed very powerful. He could not find many traces with the power of time and space, and he could not trace Zero. But what he never imagined was that he would have no illusions, and he would also cast it on Zero. If you are hit with Zero, you will never be able to escape. Other frontier. Zero appeared here, relieved. He plans to hide for a period of time, and then come out after being promoted to the real spirit realm. Suddenly, he panicked, as if something bad was going to happen. What's going on? This bad feeling, could it be that Daozi Wanfa can find me? Zero thought. Immediately, he probed the whole body with his divine sense, but found no clues. Then, he used a special secret treasure that could examine all traces on his body. This is the treasure he obtained in a secret realm somewhere in chaos. Even if he is subjected to a strange technique, he can easily detect it. He has found a curse that has no trace in the past. Boom! The power of the secret treasure circulated throughout the body, and rays of light bloomed everywhere in the body. Sudden, a breath was revealed, present in the 230 light of the secret treasure's exploration. This is A. Zero's expression changed drastically. He recognized it. This is the breath of the technique of the infinite void life technique, and it is impossible to detect it at all. Even the true monarch and even some weak true ancestors are difficult to detect the imprint of this magical power. But under the exploration of the secret treasure, this kind of mark was still discovered. But finding it does not mean that it can be removed. If it cannot be removed, this kind of mark will always be with him, and it is useless to abandon the body, because this kind of mark can follow the soul. Damn, if it's a curse, I still have a way to remove it, but I can't remove the imprint of the infinite void life. It's definitely the imprint of the Daozi of Wanfa. I didn't expect him to practice infinite life. The strange and rare chaotic supernatural power of void life. Zero panicked. If he can't get rid of the infinite void life technique, he can't get rid of Yitian, even if there are too many life-saving things, they will be used up. Once the life-saving things are used up, he will be consumed to death by Yitian. Moreover, he still can't leave the big universe, unless there is a true ancestor who is willing to pay a huge price to lead him away, but under this situation, the true ancestor does not dare to rush him away. Soon, a flame descends, which is never extinguished. Yitian is here. Damn, he's chasing after him so quickly. The eternal unextinguishing on Zero itself did not go out, and now he was hit by the eternal unextinguishing, and the injury aggravated again. Escape. Zero is constantly shuttled, and Yi-Cjfi-Tien is in hot pursuit. In the following period of time, Yi-Tien kept chasing and killing Zero, from one end of the universe to the other. No matter how many life-saving things are there, it is difficult to escape from life. A day after 100 years. It landed on a neutron star, the armor was shattered, and the whole body was cracked. The whole person was still wrapped in the eternal fire, burning his flesh and soul all the time. At the same time, his divine power was almost exhausted, his soul power was gradually exhausted, and his vitality was on the verge of withering. At this moment, Zero is truly dying from serious injuries. Wow! Yitian came from tearing the void, staring at Zero. Wanfa Daozi, I admit defeat, I am willing to pay a lot of treasures in exchange for my life. Zero confessed. I said, you must die. Yitian said coldly. However, he has to admit that Zero is very good at escaping, and there are too many life-saving things on his body, far beyond his imagination. He also didn't expect that he would chase and kill 100 years, and he hadn't killed Zero. Fortunately, this is the big universe. If it is chaotic, it is estimated that Zero has escaped far, far away, and he has no way to hunt down. Blame Zero's bad luck, broke into the big universe, and offended him. If it is a territory as large as chaos, no matter how Zero tries to die, it will not be easy to die. Wanfa Daozi, I just killed some human races, I am willing to resurrect them, and even willing to give you all my treasures and even inheritance, please don't kill me. Zero said again, unnecessary. Yitian didn't say a word, and directly killed Zero. Another battle begins. Soon after, Zero's body was completely shattered. Wanfa Daozi, I'm doomed, but you don't want to live it. Zero laughed wildly, and suddenly a black skull appeared on top of his shattered body. With my body and my soul, I will sacrifice the Lord of Demons and curse the people in front of me, and I will never be able to advance to the true spirit realm. After Zero launched this curse, the body and soul were completely annihilated, completely disappeared from time and space, and could never be resurrected. The curse is complete. The black skeleton penetrated all his defenses in a way that Yitian could not understand, and merged into his body and soul. Not good. Yi Tian's expression changed greatly, and he saw a black skull mark appearing on his body, and there was also this black skull mark in his soul, and it was impossible to remove it at all. Yi Tian felt a little bad in his heart. After putting away the treasures with 0 remnants, he immediately returned to the Hall of Void Heaven. Along the way, he ignored any disciples who greeted him, but directly found Tianjin Yuyu, Tianjin Pengyu and others. Immediately, he told them about Zero's curse before he died. Who knows, they don't know this curse either. Wan Fa Daozi, this kind of curse is very rare, I am afraid I need to ask the Taoist ancestors. Moon-swallowing heavenly monarch said solemnly. Then I will immediately ask the teacher to respect you. Yi Tian began to contact Zushin Daozu with a special message. As the most valued disciple of Zushin Daozu naturally immediately descended into the Zushin temple with a ray of consciousness. Master, Yi Tian said respectfully. Yi Tian, sent AA, what are you looking for from me? Shu Tian Daozu asked. Yi Tian told Zushin Daozu what happened, and when Zushin Daozu heard it, his expression immediately became solemn. Look at the teacher. Shu Tian Daozu carefully inspected the hole marks on Yi Tian's body, and his face was suddenly ugly. Trouble. Shu Tian Daozu sighed. Master, what is this? Yi Tian asked. This is a curse from the Lord of Demons. Although it is not a curse that he personally placed, it is just a curse that contains his breath, but it is also very difficult to deal with. Shu Tiandao said. The Lord of Demons. Yi Tian did not understand this existence. Yes, it is the Lord of Demons, a very terrifying Taoist ancestor, but now he has fallen asleep, no one knows where he is, even I can't find him. The curse can't kill people, but it can destroy a genius. Once in an era of chaos, this curse destroyed many geniuses and was listed as taboo by the top forces of chaos. I didn't expect that there was such a curse on Zero, the thing that carries. Zushin Daozu explained. Master, can't you even lift this curse? Shu Tian Daozu asked. It's not that you can't remove the curse for the teacher, but if you do it for the teacher, it will hurt your soul and body, and your future will be completely destroyed. But if you don't remove the curse for you, you will never be able to advance to the real spirit realm. It is also equivalent to destroying it. Zushin Daozu couldn't bear to say. Is there no way? Yi Tian said nervously. There is another way. Zushin Daozu said. Many of our Tao ancestors have studied the curse of demon banning and found that this curse is not a misunderstanding. It curses you to be unable to advance to the real spirit realm, which means that you must stay in the realm of destiny. But if you can break the boundaries, transcend the boundaries of the destiny realm, and break the blockade of the origin of the universe, then you can hope to break the curse of the demon ban, but this step is very difficult, and no one in chaos can do it at present. I hope that the master will tell the disciple how to break the boundary, and the disciple is willing to try. Yi Tian asked. He doesn't want to stay at the level of Tianjin all his life, no matter what, he has to try to break the boundaries. Well, I'll tell you. Zushin Daozu said. Immediately, Shu Tian Dao ancestor told Yi Tian about how to break the boundaries, but these were all calculated, without any verification, and even Shu Tian Dao ancestor did not know if it could be realized. Chapter 924 Unity of Spirit, Energy and Spirit. First update. But before telling how to break the boundaries, Shu Tian Daozu told some secrets. Yi Tian, ascent AA, your current physical body, chaotic divine power, and divine soul should be very close to your own limits, right? Once you reach this limit, it will be difficult for you to increase your strength anymore in terms of spirit and energy, and you can only go to try to condense the true spirit, and then use the power of the true spirit to fuse with the body. Once the fusion is completed, it is the true spirit realm. The avenue realm is to condense a complete avenue, that is, the 100,000-meter avenue. But in fact, it is still necessary to let the Tao is fused with the soul. The true spirit is fused with the body, the Tao with the soul, and if you want to become a Tao ancestor, you must let the Tao merge with yourself, that is, with the spirit. The spirit of the ancestor and the Tao are one, this is the real Taoist ancestor. Zushin Daozu said. It turns out that this is how the successor of Daozu is. Yi Tian was shocked. He had always heard that combining Tao could become Tao ancestor, that is, merging with Tao, but in fact he didn't understand what was called fusion. In fact, not only Yi Tian is not very clear, other heavenly monarchs and even true monarchs are not very clear, everyone is vague and does not understand the secrets of Tao ancestors level. It doesn't really matter to everyone. After all, it is too far away from the Taoist ancestor. Unless you reach the peak of the real ancestor, you will consider this secret, otherwise it is useless to understand in advance. Even many heavenly sovereigns have misunderstood about He Dao. Yi Tian almost thought about it before, thinking that He Dao is the combination of the Dao and the flesh. Who knows that the real union is the unity of the Dao and the spirit, and the true ancestor needs the Dao and the soul to be initially integrated. At this time, Zushin Daozu said again, the Dao is integrated with the spirit, energy and spirit, and since then, it is the incarnation of the Dao. The Dao ancestor who relies on his own way has unlimited possibilities, while the Dao ancestor who uses the ancestral tablet to join the Dao has unlimited possibilities. Then it cannot reach the level of perfect harmony. About this, the teacher has mentioned it to you before, but I didn't say it in such a detailed way. But the unity of spirit and Dao is so difficult. This is one of my attempts. You should have discovered that the virtual body can drive the progress of the physical body, the power and the soul at the same time, but the focus is on the physical body. According to my ideals, the virtual body should be able to fully evolve the three aspects of the spirit, energy and spirit. In terms of aspects, but the realm of being a teacher is limited, and it is impossible to create the most perfect virtual heaven body. Otherwise, when the virtual heaven body is complete, your spirit, chi and spirit can merge on their own to form a brand new force. At that time, as long as you reach at the peak of the true ancestor, you can easily integrate the Dao and enter the realm of Daozu. Master, in fact, there is no flaw in the practice, the virtual body is already very powerful. Yi Tian said quickly, yeah, although the virtual body is not perfect, it still allows you to have a great chance to join the Dao on your own. However, you are now cursed by the curse of the demon ban. Said to be promoted to the true ancestor. The way to break the boundaries and break the curse is to unite spirit, energy and spirit. Zushin Daozu said solemnly, what, the unity of spirit, energy and spirit? Yi Tian was shocked, Master, I am in the realm of destiny. Yes, the unity of spirit and spirit is indeed a necessary process from the true ancestor to the Taoist ancestor. It is not the realm of destiny that can be achieved. Even our Taoist ancestors are not perfect. The unity of spirit and spirit is just that. But the unity of spirit, chi and spirit is indeed achievable, which is calculated by the joint efforts of many Taoist ancestors. There are even Taoist ancestors who have completed the unity of spirit and spirit in the real ancestor realm, but there has never been a heavenly monarch who can achieve the unity of spirit and spirit. Unity of God. If you can unite spirit, energy and spirit in the realm of heavenly sovereign, even if you have broken the boundary, the curse of the demon ban will not be able to work on you. Shu Tiandao said. This is too difficult. Yi Tian also has no confidence. In the entire chaos, no one can unite spirit, energy and spirit at the level of Tianjin, can he do it? No way, this is your only path. Shu Tiandaozu said helplessly. If you don't take this path, you will stay at the level of Tianjin for the rest of your life, and even if you are reincarnated, you will be troubled by this curse. Quote. Master, this disciple is willing to try to unite spirit, energy and spirit. Yi Tian said, okay, I'll tell you some tips for the unity of spirit and spirit. Shu Tian Daozu smiled. Looking at Zushin Daozu's smile, Yi Tian even wondered if he was becoming a test item for Zushin Daozu. Of course, he also knows that the master is not harming him, but just wants to verify the unity of spirit, chi and spirit. If he can achieve unity of spirit and spirit, he may have some inspiration for Zushin Daozu. A cent AA for flower sa cent AA. At the level of Zushin Daozu, it is too difficult to improve one step further. If you can understand the mystery of the unity of spirit, energy and spirit, you may be able to take another step at the Daozu level. In the following days, Shu Tian Daozu has been instructing Yi Tian on the mystery of the unity of spirit, chi and spirit. This kind of treatment is beyond the imagination of other disciples, and it can be said to be a great opportunity. Under the guidance of Daozu Zushin, Yi Tian's strength has not improved much, but the truth and understanding of cultivation have improved at a very terrifying progress. And under the guidance of Daozu Zushin, Yi Tian gradually had a general direction for the unity of essence, chi and spirit. 0. First of all, he must reach the limit of the current realm, that is, the three aspects of the body, the power and the soul have reached the limit of the heavenly monarch, and there is no way to advance. In the second step, he needs to create three origin divine powers, one based on the flesh, one based on divine power, and one based on the soul. 1/10 of the three major sources of divine powers can make the spirit and energy reach an unimaginable increase, and even break the limit in half a step. The third step is to fuse the three origin divine powers into a brand new origin divine ability, and this origin divine ability will also become his innate origin divine ability. At the moment when the innate source supernatural power is successful, his spirit, chi and spirit will be perfectly unified. At that time, he will break the curse of the demon's ban, and he will successfully condense the true spirit, and it is a powerful true spirit that surpasses the supreme true spirit. According to Zushin Daozu, only the 10-star gods can condense the highest true spirit, and the highest true spirit is the limit. But once Yi Tian's plan is successful, a true spirit that transcends the supreme true spirit will be born. Although Yi Tian has not even completed the beginning of the plan, he has given this true spirit a name, Chaos True Spirit. In short, name first, this is the motivation. After Shu Tian Daozu finished instructing Yi Tian, he left the big universe and didn't care anymore. If Yi Tian succeeds, he will gain an apprentice that defies the sky. If Yi Tian fails, then he will lose a genius disciple. Although it will be a pity, it is also impossible. Chapter 925 Trying to create the source supernatural power. Second. No one knew that Shu Tian Daozu instructed Yi Tian to break the boundaries and try to unite spirit, energy and spirit. Other Dao ancestors don't know, Shu Tian Dao ancestor will not say it, and Yi Tian will not tell others stupidly. Moon-swallowing Tianjin and others only know that Yi Tian is cursed, but they don't understand the curse of the demon ban. Yi Tian will not foolishly say that he is cursed and cannot be promoted to the real spirit realm. Therefore, other heavenly sovereigns only regarded Yi Tian as a rare curse, but they definitely couldn't beat a Taoist ancestor, so they didn't take it seriously. But with the fall of Zero, all the top powers in the big universe were shocked, and the Hall of Void Heaven also became the #1 power in the current big universe. Yi Tian is also known as the first heavenly monarch in the great universe, the first powerhouse, and even other powerhouses in the half-step true spirit realm have recognized Yi Tian's strength. Certainly, today, the highest half-step true spirit realm cultivation base in the great universe is only 50%. If the true spirit and the flesh are 90% fused, their strength will far exceed 50%. At that time, these half-step true spirit realm powerhouses were not necessarily weaker than Yi Tian. In addition, the rules of the big universe began to loosen, and the shackles of promotion to the real spirit realm gradually disappeared. Perhaps tens of millions of years later, the big universe will give birth to the real spirit realm powerhouse. At that time, if Yi Tian was still a heavenly monarch, it would be difficult to suppress other powerhouses. Yi Tian didn't care about the discussions outside, and he no longer paid attention to things. Apart from letting Yanglong Tianjin collect some resources, he started retreating with all his strength. The road to breaking the boundaries and completing the unity of spirit, energy and spirit is definitely a long one, but now he must complete the first step and raise his spirit to the limit. Yi Tian's limit is far beyond other people's, so it naturally consumes a lot of resources. Fortunately, Yi Tian had obtained star crystal before, which was equivalent to 3.1 billion virtual sky points, and in the last few million years, only a few 100 million points had been consumed, and there were still a lot of points left. Therefore, Yi Tian spent countless resources at all costs, and finally after 5 million years, he raised his body, chaotic power and soul to the current limit, that is, the limit level of spirit, energy and spirit. At this stage, the cultivation base has no progress, and there is no way to improve the cultivation base except to advance to the half-step true spirit realm. Although Yi Tian knew that he was under the curse of the demon banning, he still wanted to try to condense the true spirit. But soon, his attempt failed. He had no way of condensing the true spirit at all. The curse of the demon ban completely imprisoned his cultivation, and there was no way for him to condense the half-step true spirit. Forcibly condensing it would cause backlash. After trying several times, Yi Tian had no choice but to choose the path of unity of spirit, energy and spirit. The second step is to create 3 origin magic powers. Yi Tian muttered, creating the original divine power is what the true ancestors did. He is only at the level of a heavenly monarch. How difficult is it to create the original divine power? Fortunately, he has the source talent, and it is the full source talent, otherwise, he is not qualified to create the source magical power related to the essence, energy and spirit. First try to create the source of the body's own magical powers. Yi Tian planned. It is also extremely difficult to create the body's original supernatural power. Yi Tian doesn't even have any clue. Although Zushin Daozu had also mentioned to him about creating the source of divine powers before, he could only give him some advice and could not really help him. According to Zushin Daozu's proposal, he can first cultivate some chaotic supernatural powers of the flesh, and when he has accumulated enough experience, he can try to create chaotic supernatural powers. That's right, it is to create chaotic supernatural powers. The chaotic supernatural powers in the chaos are basically created by the true ancestors, while the powerful chaotic supernatural powers are created by the Taoist ancestors. Yi Tian can't create a powerful chaotic supernatural power, but as long as he creates a chaotic supernatural power, he does not want to create a heaven-defying source supernatural power, so spending a lifetime is not enough. Next, Yi Tian began to collect the chaotic supernatural powers of the flesh. No matter how powerful they were, all of them were required. He even used Yanglong Tianjin to exchange some chaotic supernatural powers from the Yangtian temple. In just a few days, Yi Tian collected more than 20 chaotic supernatural powers of the flesh, and then began to cultivate one by one. In the beginning, it took him at least 1,000 years to cultivate a chaotic supernatural power of the flesh type, but the physical chaotic supernatural powers all have the same things in common. When Yi Tian understands enough, it will not take long to comprehend a physical chaotic supernatural power. It's time. At the back, he can even practice a flesh-based chaotic supernatural power in 10 years. Afterwards, he cultivated these chaotic supernatural powers one by one to the extreme level. Gradually, Yi Tian has more and more extreme chaotic supernatural powers. The length of the prototype of the avenue is also getting longer and wider, and the width is getting wider and wider. The prototype of the Great Tao became stronger, and Yi Tian's strength naturally became stronger. 10 million years, 20 million years. Yi Tian retreated for a long time. The news of Yi Tian gradually disappeared from the big universe, and few people discussed it, and he has even become a legend of the younger generation. But everyone knows that Yi Tian is still number one on the heavenly sovereign ranking, and no one can surpass it. In a flash, 100 million years have passed. A lot of things happened in the big universe. For example, the goddess Yunzi of the God of War Tower achieved the combat power of the 9-star peak god general, and broke through to the realm of destiny, and as soon as she entered the realm of destiny, she made rapid progress. Obviously, she had enough resources, and her strength improved extremely fast. Now, the strength of the goddess Yunzi is gradually approaching the ranks of the heavenly sovereigns. Compared with Yi Tian, such a speed of progress is naturally very slow, but compared with other heavenly monarchs, it is a real enchanting genius. The major forces have all given birth to some powerful heavenly monarchs, and the Yunzi goddess is just one of the more representative ones. And the natives of the great universe also gave birth to many geniuses. For example, the human race gave birth to a genius named Taihao God General. In just 10 million years, he has reached the level of a 6-star God General, and he is still making progress. He is also a genius who is expected to detach. Yi Tian's wife Xiao Yu and younger sister Yi Yu have also grown so much now that they have reached the pinnacle of the destiny realm, and they are only one step away from condensing the true spirit, and many heavenly kings of the human race have also been born, with hundreds of them. Most of them joined the Hall of Void Heaven, Hall of Fake Heaven, Moon-Swallowing Heavenly Monarch, Pengyu Heavenly Monarch, and others have already broken through to the half-step true spirit realm. Among them, Moon-Swallowing Heavenly Monarch has even combined the flesh body and true spirit by as much as 60% with sufficient resources, and his strength is far greater than before, comparable. But Yi Tian was still the Heavenly Monarch, which made them curious. This day, Tianjin Yueyu and Tianjin Pengyu are together. Moon-Swallowing Tianjin, do you know why Z has been in Tianjin all the time? When I saw him last time, his spirit, energy and spirit have all reached the ultimate level of Tianjin, and his multi-door chaotic supernatural powers have also reached the limit level. Why? Still staying in the ranks of Tianjin. Pengyu Tianjin was curious. I don't know. Tianjin Swallowing Moon shook his head. Maybe it's for a stronger foundation. That kind of genius is not something we can imagine. Could it have something to do with the curse? Pengyu Tianjin asked. Curse? Tianjin Yueyu frowned. You mean the curse that Zero gave to Wanfa Daozi, and the Zero curse Wanfa Daozi will never be able to advance to the real spirit realm, but didn't Wanfa Daozi ask Daozu for instructions? I have asked Daozu for instructions, but Daozu is no longer in the big universe, and he can't enter the big universe, so he may not be able to help Wanfa Daozi break the curse. Pengyu Tianjin said. This kind of thing is not what we are worried about. With Wanfa Daozi's talent, if Wanfa Daozi really can't break the curse, Daozu will not ignore it. We don't understand the situation, so don't make comments. Tianjin Moontun reminded. All right, Pengyu Tianjin nodded. This day, a piece of news came out from the giant axe city that the mad real monarch completed the fusion of the body and the true spirit, completely entered the real spirit realm, and became a real true monarch. Although he was known as a true monarch before, he was only a fake true monarch. He was the real true monarch when he stepped into the realm of true spirit. As soon as he entered the real monarch, the strength of the mad real monarch soared many times, and he was definitely the #1 powerhouse in the universe. Moreover, a new list has also appeared on the Great Universe Ancestral Monument, the True Monarch list. However, there is only one Mad Lord on the True Monarch list. The other half-step True Spirit Realm powerhouses saw that there was only one person on the True Sovereign list, and they all cultivated crazily, and they all wanted to be promoted to the True Spirit Realm, but this step was not easy. Although the shackles of the half-step True Spirit and the True Spirit Realm of the Big Universe are now loosened, it is still very difficult to break through, more than 10 times more difficult than chaos. Crazy True Monarch can break through because of his high talent, abundant resources, and great perseverance. If other people want to break through, it will not be easy. However, after a few million, Wanfeng Zhenjin of Chaos Trading Company successfully broke the shackles and was promoted to the Real Spirit Realm, becoming the second Real Monarch on the Real Monarch list. In the following years, one after another half-step True Spirit Realm powerhouse broke through and entered the True Spirit Realm one after another. This era has become a battlefield, an era where true monarchs and strong men fight with each other, and a famous true monarch moves the universe. The Wanfa Daozi, who was previously known as the #1 powerhouse, gradually disappeared from people's sight, and even received little attention. Some people even think that Yi Tian's potential has been consumed a lot, and his progress has become slow, which is almost the same as that of other ordinary Taoist ancestors. Indeed, Yi Tian's previous progress was too scary, and now this is normal. Fortunately, they didn't know that Yi Tian was hit by the curse of the demon ban, otherwise there would be countless people mocking him day and night. -5.8. The prototype of the avenue is 50,000 meters long and 20,000 meters wide. My prototype of the avenue has grown too fast, and my current strength is much stronger than before. Yi Tian sighed. After so many years of seclusion, he not only cultivated many flesh-based chaotic supernatural powers to the extreme level, but also browsed countless classics and created a door of flesh-based chaotic supernatural powers. At the beginning, the chaotic supernatural power he created was rubbish, belonging to the most rubbish chaotic supernatural power in the chaos. But gradually, the mortal chaotic supernatural power he created started to be good, but it was still relatively poor compared to the level of 3,000 chaotic supernatural powers. He will not be disappointed. The chaotic supernatural powers that can be listed in the list of 3,000 chaotic supernatural powers are basically created by some invincible true ancestors and even Taoist ancestors. Generally, the chaotic supernatural powers created by the true ancestors cannot enter the list of 3,000 chaotic supernatural powers. With the creation of a chaotic supernatural power by him, his background is beyond the imagination of other people. After accumulating enough background, he finally has the qualification to create the original supernatural power. After a long period of contemplation, he was finally ready to try to create a physical source of divine power. Let's start. My plan is to create a mortal source supernatural power in 100 million years. No matter how powerful it is, as long as it can be created, it will be a success. Yi Tian muttered. A cent a unknown currency. Chapter 926. Create origin supernatural powers. No one knows that Yi Tian is creating the original supernatural power, otherwise, one by one will be dumbfounded and the cognition will be broken. How long is 100 million years? Yi Tian is preparing to retreat all the time in order to be able to create the mortal source supernatural power, and the period will be uninterrupted. Before, although he had been in seclusion for a long time, he would occasionally go out, which was not considered a long-term seclusion. But this time, he is going to create a mortal supernatural power in one breath. With the passage of time, the resources of the universe are getting richer and the cultivation environment is getting better and better. Although it is still difficult to become a god, there are too many creatures in the universe, so too many gods are born. In addition, many ancient heavenly sovereigns also entered the real sovereign level one by one. The Tianjin on the Tianjin list has changed batch after batch, and the quality of the later Tianjin is far inferior to the original Tianjin. After all, the first Tianjin is the top of the chaos. Tianjin is the top genius selected from the countless geniuses in the innumerable chaotic domains, but it is not comparable to a mere big universe. When these top geniuses entered the half-step true spirit or true spirit realm, the other heavenly lords who were added later became weaker, and even the previous second-grade heavenly lords entered the heavenly monarch list. But no matter what, it is an honor to be able to enter the Tianjin ranking. Another 50 million years have passed, and the goddess Yunzi of the God of War Tower has advanced by leaps and bounds, surpassing countless predecessors and becoming the 9th Tianjin on the Tianjin list, which really shocked countless people. Although 29 said it was because many ancient and powerful heavenly sovereigns had stepped into the half-step true spirit, Yunzi goddess being able to enter the 9th place on the heavenly sovereign ranking was also a symbol of strength and potential. And some other great powers, true disciples, Taoist ancestors, and peerless Tianzhao are not weaker than Yunzi goddess, and they all rank at the forefront of the Tianjin list. There are still many heavenly monarchs whose goal is Yi Tian, Ascent AA, and they all want to surpass Yi Tian. But with the passage of time, they were unable to surpass Yi Tian, Ascent AA, so they gradually gave up this idea, and chose to break through to the realm of half-step true spirit or even true spirit, thus surpassing Yi Tian in terms of strength. God of War Tower. Goddess Yunzi looked into the distance. Where was the direction of Zushan Temple? Wanfa Daozi, with your speed of progress, you should have already reached the limit of your energy and spirit. Why are you still staying in the ranks of Tianjin? For us Taoist ancestors, the true monarch and the true ancestor are the moment when the real potential is realized. At the level of heavenly sovereign, the real limit is just like that. No matter how much you improve, it is useless. Cloud Purple Goddess murmured. However, she did not know Yi Tian's situation. If she knew that Yi Tian had been hit by the curse of the demon seal, she would not have any doubts. If not for the curse of the demon ban, Yi Tian would have already attacked the half-step true spirit, and even now he is the first person of the true monarch. Of course, fortune and misfortune depended on each other. Yi Tian was hit by the curse of the demon ban, but he was determined to attack the unity of spirit, qi and spirit, and was expected to enter the level above the highest true spirit. And no matter how powerful Yunzi goddess is, she can only condense a half-step high-level true spirit, and the two have completely opened the gap from the basics. Another 50 million years have passed. With sufficient resources, goddess Yunzi's spirit has reached the pinnacle, and a chaotic supernatural power has also been cultivated to the limit, so there is no need to cultivate more chaotic supernatural powers, for a while. As a result, goddess Yunzi began to attack the half-step true spirit realm, and easily condensed the half-step to high true spirit, and stepped into the half-step true spirit realm. For other half-step true spirits, it is very difficult to complete the fusion of the physical body and the true spirit, but the identity of the Yunzi goddess is not ordinary, and naturally has a treasure to speed up the fusion. With the help of this kind of treasure that accelerates fusion, goddess Yunzi is confident that she can complete 100% fusion in 10 million years and enter the real monarch level. At this moment, Yi Tian is still in the realm of heavenly monarch. It seems that Yi Tian has been surpassed by the goddess Yunzi. After all, no matter how powerful Tianjin Invincible is, he is still a Tianjin. Maybe he can easily kill an ordinary true monarch, but a true monarch like the goddess Yunzi can still be defeated by Tianjin. As the Yunzi goddess completed 10% fusion, 20% fusion, until the 100% fusion was completed, she completely entered the real monarch realm, representing the new generation of Tianzhao entering the real monarch era. And Yi Tian's reputation has dropped again and again. It seems that people feel that his potential is really exhausted, and in the future he will not be able to catch up with the peerless Tianzhao and Taoist ancestors such as Yunzi goddess. Finally, the original supernatural powers have finally become. Yi Tian, Ascent AA, who had been in retreat for 110 million years, ended the retreat, and a look of excitement appeared on his face. This time, the retreat was so long that he even wanted to give up several times. But he couldn't break through the half-step true spirit realm, so he finally held back, and has been in seclusion until today, only to create a mortal body-type source supernatural power. This origin divine ability is not very powerful, it is a relatively common origin divine ability, but it is still a origin divine ability. The moment it was successfully created, it was recognized by the source of chaos and became a true source of magic. Yi Tian also gave this magical power a name, called Blood River True Body. Because to a certain extent, he borrowed the essence of the Blood River immortality technique. The Blood River Avatar, the source supernatural power, not only has a powerful defense, but also enables Yi Tian to transform into the Blood River realm. If the Blood River realm is immortal, he will not be destroyed, which is many times stronger than the Blood River immortality technique. In addition, the real body of the Blood River can also suppress the enemy, just like the realm of the flesh. In all respects, the Blood River Avatar has great potential, but because Yi Tian's background is too shallow, the Blood River Avatar is a little less powerful, and it is not as powerful as those top-notch primordial supernatural powers. Of course, Yi Tian can slowly improve in the future. The second step is a small success. The first source magic power has been created, and it's off to a good start. Only the other two root magic powers are left. However, don't be in a hurry for the time being, go out for a walk first, otherwise if I go into seclusion, my whole body will become mentally ill. Yi Tian laughed. Immediately, he left the retreat room. Yi Tian went out and saw a lot of unfamiliar faces, obviously it was Tianjin who joined the Zushan temple later. Even if Yi Tian didn't appear in 100 million years, there is no Tianjin to disrespect him. After all, it is only 100 million years, which is nothing to Tianjin. Many Tianjin don't say 100 million years, even 10 billion years may not necessarily improve their strength. Yi Tian went back to the human race and was very relieved to see that the human race was developing very well. Afterwards, Yi Tian took his wife Xiao Yu to play for hundreds of years and visited many places in the universe. After that, Yi Tian returned to the Zushan temple and started the retreat again. In this way, Yi Tian retreated once in a while, constantly researching the supernatural powers of chaos and souls. The supernatural power type chaotic supernatural power 230 is relatively rare, because this type of chaotic supernatural power is very weak and does not contain any attributes, nor does it contain any avenues. Pure energy type chaotic supernatural powers, that is, a special combination of energy which enhances the exertion of energy to the extreme. Soul type chaotic supernatural powers are also relatively rare. Powerful soul type chaotic supernatural powers are terrifying, while weak soul type chaotic supernatural powers are more general. However, Yi Tian asked people to collect these two types of chaos divine ability early, plus a batch exchanged from the virtual sky system, so for Yi Tian, A-cent AA it is enough for research. It's just that if you want to create these two types of source supernatural powers, you will have more mental energy and more time. The time Yi Tian gave himself was 500 million years. In 500 million years, from research to creation of the original supernatural power. This is just Yi Tian's preliminary estimate, he can't say whether it can be achieved or not, but if people don't force him, no one knows how big his potential is. In the process of research and creation, Yi Tian gradually forgot all the disputes in the outside world. During this period, there were even some over-the-top Tianjin trying to challenge Yi Tian, A-cent AA, but he ignored it. Even if some people deliberately slander him, he doesn't care. To him, those people were nothing but clowns. His goal is only one, and that is to create the supernatural powers and the soul-based supernatural powers, and then try to combine the three primordial supernatural powers into the innate supernatural powers, so as to complete the unity of spirit, energy and spirit in one fell swoop and create miracles. Once he has accomplished this goal, the road to the Daozu will be unimpeded for him. At that time, he was the future Taoist. Chapter 927 The Conspiracy of the Dark God Society First Update. 500 million years later. Today, this era is undoubtedly the most glorious era in the universe. Countless geniuses were born, and countless races competed for each other. The human race is no longer the first big race. Many innate races were born one by one, and they rose rapidly with the support of the major top forces. Some innate races have very good talents, and they can become gods and even heavenly monarchs with a little training. And there are more and more true monarchs of the major forces, and Tianjin is completely unqualified to exist as a high-level executive. Even in the Hall of Void Heaven, there are hundreds of true monarchs, and there are nearly 10,000 heavenly monarchs. Although there are many heavenly monarchs and half-step true spirits in the human race, there is currently no true monarch in charge, which affects the status of the human race. In addition, Yi Tian has been in retreat for too long, and it is difficult to help the human race, which has caused the current development of the human race to stagnate. Of course, the current life of the human race is still many times better than that of the gods, demons and other races. At least the human race will not bully, while the gods and demons can only survive as vassals. Dark God Society. The mysterious force that once suffered heavy losses under Zero's attack has now grown stronger. There are not many members of the Dark God Society in the great universe, but they continue to absorb geniuses of various ethnic groups and some innate races. In addition, they hide deep enough, other forces naturally dare not provoke them at will. At this moment, a stronghold of the Dark God Society. A true monarch is talking with a half-step true spirit powerhouse. This true monarch is one of the top executives of the Dark God Society. He is called True Monarch Poison Moth. He is good at poison gods. He is one of the vice presidents of the Dark God Society. The other is one of the new geniuses of the Dark God Society, Luofeng from the human race. His talent is very high and he can be regarded as one of the strongest geniuses of the human race in this era. He was valued by the Dark God Society very early, and he was recruited into the Dark God Society, and with the help of the Dark God Society, he rose rapidly, and he has become a powerful half-step true spirit, and the flesh and the true spirit are integrated. The level has reached 95%, and will soon enter the real monarch level. But he was too low-key, and the human race didn't know him, only knew that he was a half-step true spirit, but did not know that he was about to be promoted to the level of a true monarch. Luo Feng, I have an arrangement for you. True monarch Poison Moth said solemnly. Vice President, please order. Luo Feng bowed his head. I hope you can control the human race. In this case, the genius of the human race can be easily introduced into our Dark God Society. The potential of the human race is still good. Not only did geniuses like Wanfa Daozi appear, but also geniuses like you, this family. If it is in our hands, our power will be stronger. True monarch Poison Moth commanded. This is very simple, Luo Feng smiled and said. The high-end strength of the human race is not strong, except for a few half-step true spirits with a fusion degree of 1 or 2%, the others are very weak Tianjin, far from being comparable to me. The only thing that is a little troublesome is the legendary Daozi of Wanfa who is touted as a myth. That's right, in Luo Feng's eyes, Yi Tian is touted as a genius. When Yi Tian's fame affected the universe, he had not yet been born, and he grew up listening to the legend of Yi Tian at that time. Before, he also worshipped Yi Tian, Ascent AA and even made Yi Tian his goal. But when he stepped into the Divine General, stepped into the Heavenly Monarch, even now he is about to become the true monarch, but Yi Tian is still the Heavenly Monarch. At this time, he looked down on Yi Tian a little, thinking that Yi Tian had a false name. Over the years, he has accepted many beliefs from the Dark God Society. I don't know how many geniuses he killed. Some geniuses are said to be rare in billions of years. Therefore, he thinks that genius is fought, not touted. In his opinion, Yi Tian's greatest record was just killing a half-step true spirit who had just been promoted. Luo Feng, you can't underestimate Daozi Wanfa. Although he is still a heavenly monarch, his strength is definitely stronger than you. True monarch Poison Moth urged. Yes, Luo Feng did not dare to refute true monarch Poison Moth. After all, there is a huge gap in strength between half-step true spirit and true monarch who have entered the realm of true spirit. True monarch Poison Moth was once also a heavenly monarch and entered the true monarch. The ranks have been around for hundreds of millions of years. Now, true monarch Poison Moth is already in the middle stage of true monarch cultivation, and it is far from what he can match. But in his heart, he still doesn't think Yi Tian is so powerful. After leaving this stronghold, Luo Feng returned to the human race. According to the plan of the Dark God Society, he needs to become the leader of the human race, and basically he can control many rights of the human race. The main high-level people of the human race are Xiao Yu, Yi Yu, Zhou Tian, Ascent AA, Kunwu Tianjin, Hunyuan Tianjin and others. These people are the oldest high-level people in the human race. Maybe their strength is not necessarily stronger than some new talents, but their status but very high. Humph, the human race should focus on strength. These people are far inferior to me, they should give way. Luo Feng said grimly. In fact, his status is not low. As one of the 10 elders of the human race, he has a lot of power, but he is not satisfied with this. Coupled with the plan of the Dark God Society this time, he is ready to become the emperor of the human race. The human race has never had a human sovereign. Yi Tian is qualified to become a human sovereign, but the human race hardly manages the human race, and naturally cannot recognize the human sovereign, and the others are not strong enough. Human race, temple. In the name of the 10 elders, Luo Feng called other elders and high-level leaders to open a meeting, which was one of his rights. Soon, a high-level person came to the temple. Luo Feng, what's the matter with this meeting? Xiao Yu asked. Xiao Yuajun, the development of our human race has reached a slow stage, and even many innate races are stronger than us. If this continues, our human race will be reduced to being beaten by everyone. The situation is over, Luo Feng said. There are Zushan Temple and Wanfa Daozi behind our human race, who dares to provoke us? Kunwu Tianjin Road. Kunwu Tianjin, relying on the Daozi of Wanfa. Has he managed the human race? Moreover, with his current cultivation level of Tianjin, what can he do in today's countless eras of true monarchs? Counting on the Daozi of Wanfa, it is better to rely on us. Myself, Luo Feng said unceremoniously. Luo Feng, what do you mean? Each high-level human race stared at Luo Feng, as if questioning Luo Feng. Yi Tian's status in the human race is very high. After all, without Yi Tian, the human race would have been destroyed long ago. But Luo Feng actually said these words. He was provoking Yi Tian. That's the meaning of the words. I think the human race needs to choose a human emperor, and I suggest that the strongest person is the human emperor. Luo Feng said loudly. Chapter 928 Destroy Luo Feng with one finger. Second. Luo Feng, do you know what the consequences will be if you do this? When His Highness Daozi Wanfa returns, do you think you still have life? Tianjin Hunyuan said coldly. Ha ha ha, even if Yi Tian came, he couldn't help me. As Luo Feng spoke, the aura on his body burst out completely. That is the aura that belongs to the top half-step true spirit realm. He is a powerhouse who has been promoted to the 7-star God General. He was almost qualified to enter the Heavenly Sovereign ranking at the Heavenly Monarch level, but now that his cultivation has reached the peak of the half-step true spirit realm, he will soon become a true monarch. At this moment, he is full of confidence. How can he put Yi Tian in his eyes? As for the instructions of true monarch Poison Moth, he had already put them in the back of his mind. Luo Feng, do you think you are about to be promoted to Heavenly Sovereign to be qualified to challenge His Highness Daozi Wanfa? Kunwu Heavenly Sovereign sneered. Many people in the human race don't know Yi Tian. They only know that Yi Tian is very strong, but they don't know how strong he is, but he is one of the few people who knows how strong Yi Tian is. There are many legends about Yi Tian, but many people don't believe it, including Luo Feng. A mere heavenly monarch can't even condense true spirits. If you weren't an old senior of the human race, do you think you are qualified to talk to me? Luo Feng said coldly. Luo Feng, don't go too far. Another person spoke up. This person is also one of the geniuses of the human race. He is called Sun He. He became famous earlier than Luo Feng. Now he is also in the realm of half-step true spirit, but his fusion degree is not as good as Luo Feng's. Certainly, his strength is far inferior to Luo Feng. After all, he is far inferior to Luo Feng at the level of Tianjin, and he has not even touched the edge of the Tianjin list. But even so, he still questioned Luo Feng. Sun He, you are not qualified. Luo Feng's aura suppressed Sun He, and 230 made Sun He tremble, as if his body was frozen. At this moment, he realized how powerful Luo Feng was, far beyond his imagination. At this time, Xiao Yu, Yi Tian's wife, spoke up. Luo Feng, I'll give you a choice, immediately apologize to everyone, otherwise you will be at your own risk. Luo Feng sneered and said, I also give you a choice, surrender to me immediately, and consider me the emperor of the human race, otherwise I don't mind having the high-level people of the race change. You sent A. A high-ranking individual stood up, furious. Looks like you've made a choice. Xiao Yu sighed. Others don't know what Xiao Yu is sighing, but Xiao Yu himself knows what he is sighing. He is sighing that a high-level human race is about to fall, and a genius is about to fall. In fact, she is very optimistic about Luo Feng, thinking that Luo Feng can be promoted to the ranks of true monarchs, which will be of great help to the human race. Unexpectedly, Luo Feng's ambition was so great that he even asked everyone to submit to him and challenge Yi Tian's authority, which was not allowed by all the high-level people of the human race. Even without Xiao Yu and Yi Yu, the high-level human race would not agree, because this would offend the Zushan Temple, and without the blessing of the Zushan Temple, the life of the human race would be very difficult. Xiao Yuajun, just because you have just stepped into a half-step true spirit. Your understanding is not high, your strength is not strong, and your foundation is not good at the beginning, you are just an ordinary half-step true spirit powerhouse. If I kill you, one move will do. Luo Feng was disdainful. I'm definitely not your opponent. Xiao Yu admitted. Her previous talent was actually quite ordinary, let alone a half-step true spirit. It was difficult to become a god of the universe. Yi Tian gave her a lot of talent, even a lot of super god level talent. But talent does not represent strength. If it cannot be transformed into strength, then talent is just a decoration. In terms of innate understanding, he is very average, plus his own potential is not high, plus she does not have the will to become a real powerhouse, and she also lacks fighting. What she is good at is management, helping Yi Tian manage the human race well. Therefore, her strength is naturally not strong, and she is only a little more powerful than ordinary geniuses, far inferior to such geniuses as Luo Feng. But she has a way to deal with Luo Feng. Looking at Luo Feng, Xiao Yu condensed and said, the human race has a secret, that is, the human race temple sleeps an incarnation of my husband, who has the ultimate incarnation of the emperor. After the zero invasion of the human race, the husband, for the safety of the human race, a deliberately condensed avatar. Incarnation, ha ha ha, what is the use of an incarnation whose strength is far inferior to the main body? It is estimated that the power of the chaotic supernatural power cannot be exerted, and the incarnation's physical body is weak, far inferior to the main body. Yi Tian's main body is here, I am not afraid, can a mere avatar threaten me? Luo Feng said without panic. At this time, Xiao Yu had awakened Yi Tian's incarnation. Yi Tian, a who was far away in the Hall of Void Heaven, also knew about the awakening of the incarnation, and even knew the situation of the human race, but he did not end the retreat and did not rush to the human race. A mere Luo Feng is not worth mentioning. Human race, temple. A powerful aura appeared, and that was the aura that belonged to Yi Tian. Wow, a figure appeared, it was Yi Tian's incarnation. He looked at Luo Feng and murmured, the genius of the human race, why do you do this? You are very good, you have practiced a chaotic supernatural power, and you have also condensed the prototype of the avenue. You are indeed the strongest genius of the human race except me. Unfortunately, you should not be my enemy, and the human race. Luo Feng said, you are Yi Tian, I saw you for the first time, but I am not an enemy of the human race, but I want to develop the human race to a higher level, and you are the one who hinders the development of the human race. Which force are you from? Yi Tian asked. What do you mean? Luo Feng panicked. He is not afraid of Yi Tian, but is afraid that his identity will be exposed, otherwise it will be very troublesome. You have the aura of chaotic supernatural powers, you can't hide it from me. Besides, you should be cultivating the chaotic supernatural powers of darkness. Yi Tian said. From Luo Feng's fusion talent, it is inferred that he possesses the supernatural power of dark chaos CJFI. You can integrate your talents and use the chaotic supernatural powers, please help Jonda. The general power is so bold, the price you pay to cultivate a genius who can master the chaotic supernatural powers is also very high. Rinfang wants to obtain the inheritance and fusion of the chaotic supernatural powers. Innate treasures can only be obtained from the Hall of Void Heaven, or from me. Obviously, the chaotic supernatural powers on you are not obtained from the Hall of Void Heaven. Don't tell me about ancient ruins or inheritance of great existence. Because after the birth of the great universe, the inheritance places of those true ancestors and Taoist ancestors all disappeared, so you must have taken refuge in a certain force. Yi Tian said coldly, do you know that the human race is the power of the Zushan temple, and the genius of the human race must enter the Zushan temple, otherwise it will be a traitor to the clan, this is the rule I set, you dare to betray the clan, do you know the end? Quote. Luo Feng knew that he couldn't hide it anymore. He didn't expect Yi Tian to be so powerful. He even guessed that he had cultivated the dark-type chaotic supernatural power, and he easily calculated that he had joined a certain force. Yi Tian, even if I join other forces, you are already a past tense, you can't even break through the realm of half a step, and you have no qualifications to make decisions for the human race. Today, I will kill your incarnation first. I'll kill you tomorrow. Luo Feng said arrogantly. Hey, Yi Tian sighed. He stretched out a finger and pointed at Luo Feng. This finger seems to be very slow, but at the moment when the finger is pointed, the world seems to freeze. This is Luo Feng was terrified, he felt that all his senses had been deprived, everything around him had disappeared, and only that finger was left in front of him. This finger was too terrifying, and he felt the breath of death. Puff! This finger landed on Luo Feng's forehead. The next moment, Luo Feng's eyes were scattered, and his body fell down. Luo Feng, dead. Luo Feng is dead. Kunwu Tianjin and others looked extremely shocked. This is a powerful half-step true spirit powerhouse who is about to be promoted to true monarch, and it is also the strongest genius of the human race except Yi Tian. But facing Yi Tian's incarnation, he couldn't even block it with a single finger, and was directly killed by a single finger. I know that His Highness Daozi Wanfa is very strong, but I didn't expect to be so strong that he could kill a top half-step true spirit powerhouse with one avatar and one finger. Kunwu Tianjin was surprised in his heart. Yi Tian was not surprised to kill Luo Feng with one finger. Luo Feng is a genius in the human race, but it is too common in chaos, even the original Zero can easily kill Luo Feng in seconds. Luo Feng has never experienced that era. At that time, Tianjin and Banbu Junling were too strong, but now those Tianjin and Banbu Junling have basically become real monarchs, while Luo Feng's Tianjin is too weak in this era, causing him to think he was invincible. If you don't experience the genius of that era, you don't know the horror of Yi Tian at all. So, he is dead. However, he was more honored to die under Yi Tian's sole source supernatural power. That finger just now contained a source of supernatural power, destroying God. The power of Destroyer is terrifying, and this avatar actually cannot exert the power of Destroyer at all. It can only display a small part of the power of Destroyer, but it still kills Luo Feng's soul with ease. Whoa, countless treasures from the universe flew out of Luo Feng's body and were screened one by Yi Tian. Soon, a token appeared in front of Yi Tian. The member token of the Dark God Society. It turns out that Luo Feng joined the Dark God Society. Yi Tian said clearly, Luo Feng is a member of the Dark God Society. The upper echelons of the human race were shocked one by one. The Dark God Society is a notorious force, and it once sent someone to assassinate Yi Tian, and it is also one of the most hated forces in the human race. Unexpectedly, the genius of the human race has joined the Dark God Society. Damn Luo Feng, many high-level Terran people cursed on the spot. It seems that the Dark God will want to attack our human race. 1. Yi Tian understood. Husband, what should I do now? Xiao Yu asked. It doesn't matter, the Dark God Society estimates that it just wants to control the human race. Luo Feng is already dead, and the resources of the Dark God Society to cultivate Luo Feng are almost in vain. For now, don't worry about the Dark God Society. It would be nothing. Yi Tian said. Chapter 929 Unity of Spirit, Spirit and Spirit, Breaking Through Half-Step True Spirit. 3rd Edit. The matter of Luo Feng was just a small episode for Yi Tian, and could not even attract his attention. The members of the Dark God Society are very complex, secretly recruiting geniuses from many races, and even some top major forces may have spies of the Dark God Society. Even in the current human race, I am afraid that many people are peripheral members of the Dark God Society. This kind of thing is difficult to prohibit. After all, the territory of the human race is too large, and the number of humans is too large to manage. But as long as the upper levels of the human race are not invaded by the Dark God Society, it's fine, and he doesn't need to care about other things. After 500 million years of ascetic cultivation, the 3 primordial magical powers have been created, and my strength has also improved a lot, far from being comparable to the original, and now there is only the last step left, to initially integrate the 3 primordial magical powers into a kind of essence containing essence. The source of Qi God's magical powers, then the spirit, Qi and spirit can be completely unified. Yi Tian muttered. In fact, he can also directly skip the 3 origin divine powers and create a fundamental divine ability that contains the 3 aspects of essence, energy and spirit directly from scratch, but it is almost unrealistic, and the difficulty increases more than 10,000 times. It is very difficult to break the boundary, and if it is increased 10,000 times, it means that there is no hope at all. At this time, with the creation of the 3 major source supernatural powers, Yi Tian clearly sensed that his spirit, energy, and spirit had already broken the boundary by half a step. Now, he needs to combine the 3 sources of divine powers according to the changes in his own spirit and energy, and then create another source of divine powers that contains spirit and energy. Maybe that can't be called the source of magic, but a practice method that integrates the 3 aspects of spirit, energy and spirit. If there is no mutual reference between the 3 sources of supernatural powers, I am afraid that even I will not be able to find any way. Now, I have vaguely witnessed the way of the unity of spirit, spirit and spirit. 1. Yi Tian said. He also knew that it was not easy to complete the last step, and it might take a long time, but at least he saw the road to the unity of spirit, and saw real hope. Before, he had no hope at all. This day, Yi Tian was retreating when a message came out. The ancestral monument space is about to open. Before this, the ancestral monument space has been opened many times, but only the top 100 gods on the list of gods are allowed to enter it for cultivation and enlightenment, and neither the heavenly monarchs nor the true monarchs can enter it. But this time is different. The ancestral monument space opens a space and a world. One is the space that allows the top 100 gods to enter, and the other is the world that allows the top 100 Tianjin to enter. For this, many heavenly monarchs of the top powers are aware of this, because even the true monarch, true ancestor can enter the inner world of the ancestral monument to gain insight and practice in the later period. It is not surprising that the ancestor's world suitable for Tianjin to enter is now opened. For the top 100 Tianjin on the Tianjin list, this is definitely a big opportunity. Yi Tian couldn't help but be very happy when he got this news, because he could use the ancestral monument world to complete the fusion of the three origin divine powers, and create the original divine power of the unity of spirit, energy and spirit. In 10,000 years, the world of ancestral monuments will open, just wait. Yi Tian muttered. The world of ancestral monuments is about to open, and the heavenly sovereigns at the top of the heavenly sovereign ranking are all crazy, all want to enter the top 100, and the top 100 also want to keep their rankings. However, the mere 10,000 years is too short, and it is difficult to improve any strength at all. And so, the assassination begins. For example, Tianjin, who is ranked 101st on the Tianjin list, if he can't make it into the top 100, he can send someone to kill a few Tianjin who are in the top 100 on the Tianjin list, and he can enter. Under such circumstances, one of the top 100 heavenly sovereigns on the heavenly sovereign list was assassinated, and he actually succeeded in assassinating a few. But later, these Tianjin hid in the headquarters of the forces one by one and refused to come out again. Gradually, 10,000 years have passed, and the quota has been set. In front of the ancestral monument, a famous general, Tianjin, came here, and Yi Tian also came here. Yi Tian's arrival attracted the attention of many heavenly monarchs and gods. Some of them admired Yi Tian very much, but some of them were disdainful, thinking that Yi Tian was just like that. Boom! The ancestral monument space was opened, and a famous god general in Tianjin entered. Yi Tian also stepped into it and came to a world. This is a world of birds and flowers, divided into floating islands. Every day, the emperor occupies an island, and the emperors can comprehend and cultivate in this world for 100,000 years. As soon as he entered here, Yi Tian felt that his soul was excited, and his comprehension had been improved unimaginably. His comprehension is inherently against the sky, and he has a super god-level super comprehension talent, coupled with the increase in the world of ancestral monuments, his comprehension has reached an unimaginable level. 100,000 years, we must succeed. Yi Tian sat cross-legged and started to create the source supernatural power of the unity of spirit, energy and spirit. Day by day, other heavenly sovereigns have improved tremendously, and their strength has grown by leaps and bounds, and even a heavenly sovereign has directly comprehended a chaotic supernatural power from Dacheng to the ultimate level. Every heavenly monarch's breath is constantly increasing, and some people pay attention to Yi Tian, but find that Yi Tian has not changed at all, as if there is no progress. Suddenly, some people thought that Yi Tian's potential was exhausted and it was difficult to improve. Yi Tian really didn't make any progress, because he was creating the original supernatural power of the unity of spirit, qi and spirit. 1,000 years, 20,000 years, 30,000 years. Before you know it, 100,000 years are approaching. At this moment, Yi San was at a critical moment. He is about to create the source supernatural power of the unity of spirit, qi and spirit. If someone observes the inside of Yi Tian's body, they will find that Yi Tian's spirit and spirit are changing. A person, spirit and spirit are related, but they cannot be integrated. Spirit, energy and spirit cannot be transformed infinitely, that is something that does not exist. But now, a part of Yi Tian's spirit, energy, and spirit are already fused, and they can be transformed constantly. For example, Yi Tian's soul power is exhausted, and the chaotic divine power can be transformed into soul power and restore power quickly. This seems incredible, but this is one of the effects of the unity of spirit, qi and spirit. As long as the spirit, energy and spirit are not completely exhausted, there is no such thing as a fall, and the combat power will always remain at the peak. Another decades passed. Yi Tian opened his eyes and laughed loudly. Finally successful, he created the source supernatural power of the unity of spirit, energy and spirit, and accomplished things that Taoist ancestors could not do. Boom! With this origin divine ability, Yi Tian's body, soul, and chaos divine power began to fuse completely. Fusion into 1, 20%, FF, ask for flowers. 10%. After the complete fusion, Yi Tian's spirit, energy, and spirit continued to transform and grow, and in a short while, it increased nearly 100 times, and it could be transformed into each other. Powerful. Yi Tian felt that he was so strong that he could easily kill his past self. Of course, this is just an illusion, and a strong spirit does not mean that the combat power has increased many times. But in terms of combat power, he has increased at least 10 times. This origin divine ability is more like a cultivation divine ability, let's call it the unity of 3 elements. The name is common, but apt. With the original supernatural power of the unity of three elements, Yi Tian has already been regarded as the unity of spirit, energy and spirit, and he will not have any shackles in the future when he attacks Daozu. Moreover, he can be regarded as breaking the limit. The curse of the demon ban, break it for me. Yi Tian mobilized the power of the unity of essence, qi and spirit to attack the shackles in the dark. Click. The shackles were broken, and the imprint of the demon banning curse on Yi Tian's body and soul instantly shattered and dissipated. Immediately, Yi Tian began to attack the half-step true spirit realm. 0. But soon, he found that he could not break through the realm here, because the space of the ancestral monument was suppressing him, and he was not allowed to break through here. In desperation, Yi Tian could only choose to give up the breakthrough and wait until he returned to the Hall of Void Heaven before breaking through. Time is up. Yi Tian saw that a Ming Tianjin was forcibly removed, and he was also removed from the space of the ancestral monument. Afterwards, Yi Tian returned to the Zushan temple and began to retreat to the half-step true spirit realm. It didn't take long for Yi Tian to break through successfully, condensing his true spirit. The true spirit is more like a manifestation of will, similar to itself, equivalent to a kind of will clone, but in fact it is a more advanced existence. The form of the true spirit is related to the level of the true spirit. Under normal circumstances, people gather illusory true spirits, that is, low-grade true spirits. The more condensed the true spirits are, the higher the level. And the Supreme True Spirit is already close to the state of the entity, and the Supreme True Spirit is completely a kind of entity True Spirit. The True Spirit I condensed is not only the real spirit, but also the light of the True Spirit, which contains a terrifying majesty, as if it is above everything. Yi Tian looked at the terrifying True Spirit in front of him and thought to himself. Fortunately, the great formation of the Zushan temple blocked this vision, otherwise his breakthrough situation would have shocked countless people. Merge. Yi Tian tried to fuse his true spirit. Soon, the spirit and the body began to slowly merge and hide in the body. With this fusion, Yi Tian's body began to transform, and it continued to strengthen. The body and the true spirit gradually began to be indistinguishable from each other, and the body also contained that terrifying majesty, like a supreme existence. In my opinion, a true spirit is a special kind of will. When combined with a true spirit, the power of the will is contained in the attack, and the power will become more terrifying. More terrifying. Yi Tian guessed. Although he has only just begun to fuse his will, his strength is more than 10 times stronger than when he was a monarch. If he continues to fuse, when 100% of the fusion has been completed and he has entered the real monarch level, his strength will once again reach a new level, the height of. At this moment, even Yi Tian himself didn't know how powerful he was. Maybe it's time to find someone to try your strength. Yi Tian said coldly. Chapter 930 Destroy the True Monarch. A full order A. Yi Tian went out and attracted the attention of many people in Zushan Temple. Because Yi Tian broke through to the half-step true spirit realm, this is a big event. Originally, in this prosperous era of the great universe, with countless resources and a very good cultivation environment, many heavenly monarchs have entered the realm of true monarchs one after another, while Wanfa Daozi, whose strength has improved so rapidly, has remained at the level of heavenly sovereigns. Many people are puzzled, and even many people think that Yi Tian's potential is exhausted. But now, Yi Tian has broken through and achieved the half-step true spirit realm. Does it mean that Yi Tian is about to enter a new peak? Or is it still progressing slowly and becoming an ordinary genius? Certainly, people with knowledge will not really think that Yi Tian is an ordinary genius, can be promoted with the strength of the 9-star peak god general, and as a transcendence can he be an ordinary genius? Even among Taoist ancestors, it is definitely the top existence. Only those short-sighted people in 230s will look down on Yi Tian, ascent and even feel that Yi Tian has fallen. However, even those knowledgeable people underestimated Yi Tian. Demonic Sound Sect, Spirit Blue Domain Branch. This is also an important branch of the Demonic Sound Sect. There is one true monarch, 3 half-step true spirits, and dozens of heavenly monarchs, and there are also a large number of gods and heavenly monarchs from the Linglan domain. The Demonic Sound Sect cultivates these junior geniuses, continuously sends talented personnel to the headquarters, strengthens the Demonic Sound Sect's strength, and manages the huge territory of the Demonic Sound Sect. Compared with hundreds of millions of years ago, the Demonic Sound Sect's current strength can be increased many times, with dozens of true monarchs, nearly 10,000 heavenly monarchs, and a large number of god-level geniuses. If it is given a few 100 million years, the heavenly monarch of the demonic sect may rise to as many as 100,000. Because the prosperous world has just opened, every top power is rapidly improving. At this moment, a figure appeared outside the spirit blue domain branch of demonic sound sect. It was Yi Tian. The demon sound sect is developing well, Yi Tian muttered. Compared with hundreds of millions of years ago, the demonic sound sect was indeed much stronger. If the demonic sound sect had such a scale when he entered the 10-star seas hundreds of millions of years ago, he would definitely be dead at that time. However, the demonic sound sect is not what it used to be, and so is he. Let's try the strength of the demonic sound sect, so as to avenge the day's revenge. Yi Tian said lightly. If the demonic sound sect heard Yi Tian's words, they would definitely vomit blood. After all, it was the demonic sound sect who suffered heavy losses that day, and both the Zushan temple and Yi Tian made a lot of money. If Yi Tian hadn't leaked the secrets of the 10-star seas, the demonic sound sect would probably use those star crystals to continuously strengthen its own strength. Today's demonic sound sect is definitely the #1 force in the universe, and no other force can compare to them. Therefore, demonic sound sect hates Yi Tian even more, wishing to kill Yi Tian. However, in these hundreds of millions of years, Yi Tian has been retreating and cultivating, and they can't find the opportunity. In addition, the forces are developing too fast, and they need personnel to guard them, so they don't have time to trouble Yi Tian. Boom! A part of Yi Tian's aura erupted, covering the entire demonic sect spirit blue domain branch. The next moment, a famous Tianjin and Banbu Junling appeared, headed by a real monarch from this branch and an acquaintance of Yi Tian. Phantom Lord, Wanfa Daozi, it's you. 1. True monarch Wanyan gritted his teeth and stared at Yi Tian. The anger and killing intent in his eyes were not concealed at all. Yes, it's me, Yi Tian said coldly. Hundreds of millions of years ago, you demon sound sect besieged me as a whole, and I have not forgotten this hatred. Wanfa Daozi, you still have the face to talk about this matter. If you hadn't leaked the Xingqian crystal and the Xingqian Ji at that time, the strength of our demonic sect could have grown 10 times more. For hundreds of millions of years, we have never found an opportunity. Take revenge. I didn't expect you to come here today. Ha ha ha, Daozi Wanfa, hundreds of millions of years have passed, you have just been promoted to a half-step true spirit, and I am already a true monarch, and even a small improvement at the true monarch level with one click. You are almost at the peak of the early stage of the true spirit realm, killing you is as easy as the palm of your hand. True monarch Phantom Sound is full of confidence. Of course, he also knew that Yi Tian's strength was terrifying, and other heavenly sovereigns and half-step true spirits could not help Yi Tian, so he shot Yi Tian alone. Tianyan Kashapa, a terrifying chaotic supernatural power was displayed by true monarch Wanyan. This is a powerful supernatural power that ranks in the hundreds of chaotic supernatural powers. True monarch Wanyan displayed it with the cultivation of a true monarch, and its power is terrifying. Buzz. The void vibrated, covering the surrounding void of Yi Tian. Under such attacks, it is difficult for any half-step true spirit to save his life. Tianyan Kashapa's magical power can shatter people's bodies without leaving a trace, and even chaos treasures can be shattered. Moreover, it almost ignores the defense, and it is difficult for a true monarch who is not physically strong to block this move. However, Yi Tian stood there, letting Tianyan Kashapa's supernatural power shake his body. He was unmoved, even a smile appeared on his face, and he was completely unharmed. Impossible, how can you be okay? True monarch Phantom was shocked. Next, true monarch Wanyan once again used all kinds of methods, but none of them could help Yi Tian. At this time, Yi Tian opened his mouth and said, because you are too weak, I thought that in these hundreds of millions of years, you will have any major changes, but I didn't expect that just because the cultivation base has improved, other aspects are still so rubbish. Next, I will use a move, if you can block it, you can live. After Yi Tian finished speaking, he spit out 2 words. Destroy God. 1. Hum. A terrifying wave swept across the bodies of Ming Tianjin, Banbu Junling and Wanyan Zhenjin of the entire demonic sound sect spirit blue domain branch. He actually attacked so many people at the same time, but most of the attacks fell on true monarch Wanyan, and some other aftermaths affected these half-step true spirits in Tianjin. But what Yi Tian used was not an ordinary method, but the original supernatural power, destroying the gods, which was the original supernatural power of the soul, and the power was so terrifying. The origin of the soul. True monarch Wanyan's pupils shrank sharply, and before he could speak, the human spirit was shattered. The gap between him and Yi Tian is too big. Even as a true monarch, he is far inferior to Yi Tian who is half-step true spirit realm, and he can't stop Yi Tian from destroying the gods. As for the other half-step true spirits and Tianjin of the demonic sound sect branch, in Yi Tian's eyes, they are like ants. I saw a 5.8 heavenly sovereign and a half-step true sovereign who remained in shape, motionless, their eyes dimmed, their souls were annihilated, and they died completely. In an instant, the blue domain branch of the demonic sound sect turned into a dead domain. Go to the next branch of the demonic sect. Yi Tian's voice is still echoing in this branch, but the person has disappeared. With the passage of time, a branch of the demonic sound sect was destroyed, a large number of half-step true spirits and Tianjin died, and many true monarchs died, which was a huge loss for the demonic sound sect. How powerful is the true monarch? In the chaos, that is also a small overlord, a real big man, who is in charge of the life and death of a chaotic continent. But now, these true monarchs have fallen one by one. Fa Daozi, our demonic sect will never die with you. True monarch Bailey roared at the demon sound sect headquarters. Chapter 931 The response of the demonic sect. True monarch Bailey did not expect Fa Daozi to become so powerful, and not long after he was promoted to half-step true spirit, he destroyed several branches of the demonic sound sect. You must know that every branch must be seated by a true monarch. Even if some true monarchs are not powerful, they are still true monarchs. With the blessing of the formation, their strength will not be weak. In addition, Zhenjin Wanyan has fallen. This is a powerful true monarch who is enough to rank in the top 5 of the demonic sound sect, and he actually died in the hands of Fa Daozi. How can this happen? Fa Daozi is only powerful in life-saving ability, and his strength is not too defiant. It's not a problem for Tianjin to kill a half-step true spirit, but a half-step true spirit kills a genius like Wanyan by leaps and bounds. Sir, how is this possible? True monarch Bailey can't imagine how Fa Daozi did it. Even in the chaos of the demonic sect, the ancestors of the Taoist ancestors are far from being able to do this at the half-step true monarch level, and the demonic sect has also entered a few true disciples this time, which is not weaker than the direct ancestors of the Taoist ancestors, and there is no such thing at all. Such a monster. Moreover, he is a true disciple himself, so he naturally understands how outrageous it is to kill true monarch Wanyan with a half-step true spirit. Absolutely 29 is abnormal. Could it be that Fa Daozi used some treasure? True monarch Bailey guessed. But no matter what Yi Tian did, Yi Tian is now facing the demonic sound sect, and the two sides are already immortal. If Yi Tian cannot be killed, the demonic sound sect will be finished. The other side, true monarch Moon Swallowing and the others in Zushan Temple also knew that Yi Tian had killed the demonic sound sect, and they were immediately shocked. They sent messages to Yi Tian one by one and asked Yi Tian to come back. Daozi is too reckless. He is only half a true spirit. The demonic sound sect is not hundreds of millions of years ago, but the present demonic sound sect has dozens of true monarchs. Moon Swallowing True monarch worried. True monarch Moon Swallowing, Daozi's message told us not to worry, he alone is enough to save his life. True monarch Pengyu said. We are aware of Daozi's life-saving means, but Daozi is only half a true spirit, so he may not be able to withstand the siege of many true monarchs. Said Tianjin Yuyu. Don't forget, Daozi has a great realm to move. As long as he is not killed by a single blow, he can definitely escape easily. Pengyu Tianjin Road. What if the Great Realm movement is targeted? The demonic sound sect has a strong background, and no one knows whether they have the formation and means to ban the Great Realm movement. True monarch Swallowing Moon said. After Zhenjin Yuyu and others discussed it, they decided to observe first. If Yi Tian couldn't stop it, they would rescue them. There are quite a few branches of the demonic sound sect, about 20. No one knows which branch Yi Tian will attack, plus the dozens of demonic sound sect true monarchs. It is impossible to concentrate all of them in one branch, so under Yi Tian's attack, the demonic sound sect branch is destroyed one by one. In the end, the demonic sound sect reluctantly gave up these branches, and all the staff were concentrated in the headquarters, temporarily retreating. Of course, it is impossible for those branches to be unguarded, just some weak heavenly monarchs and gods generals to maintain order in those territories. Otherwise, if they all retreat, then these areas will fall into chaos. In addition, the demonic sound sect was afraid that Yi Tian would kill those weak heavenly monarchs and divine generals, so they released news that they had transferred all the half-step true spirits and true monarchs back to the demonic sound sect. And let Yi Tian have the courage to go to the headquarters of the demonic sound sect. If he dares to kill the weak Tianjin and the gods of the demonic sound sect, then he is not worthy of being a Taoist ancestor. Under such circumstances, Yi Tian would undoubtedly be condemned if he went to destroy those branches that did not have a true monarch or a half-step true spirit. After all, even in chaos, it is normal for the strong to fight against the strong, but it is too much for the strong to kill the weak. A branch of the demonic sect. Yi Tian probed and found that there is indeed no half-step true spirit in Tianjin, and even some powerful Tianjin are not there, so there is no attack. It seems that the powerhouses of the demonic sect have all been transferred back to the headquarters, so let's go to the headquarters of the demonic sect. Yi Tian's voice just fell, and his figure disappeared. Demon Sound Sect Headquarters. At this time, countless people in the whole sect were full of anger. This was the anger towards Yi Tian. They could not wait to kill Yi Tian. But I have to admit that Yi Tian's strength is very strong. Not only is his life-saving ability terrifying, but he also has the ability to move the world. He is not an existence that can be easily killed. But no one is afraid. They are much stronger than hundreds of millions of years ago, and there are 36 true monarchs, 104 half-step true spirits, more than 6,000 heavenly monarchs, and hundreds of thousands of divine generals gathered here. With such a huge scale of powerhouses, they still can't deal with the Taoist of all methods. Bailey, can we really block the transfer of Wanfa Daozi's great realm? If we can't block it, then all this will be in vain, and we will also lose some true monarchs. No one wants to die, so do we. Another ruler of the demonic sound sect, the true monarch Wanyan asked. True monarch Wanyan has various eyes all over his body, and each type of eyes represents a secret technique. His strength may not be as good as true monarch Bailey, but his strangeness is even better. The 10,000 eyes true monarch hundreds of millions of years ago was still just a powerful heavenly monarch and did not grow up, but today Ascent AAS 10,000 eyes true monarch is extremely powerful. He is also one of the true disciples of the demonic sound sect, and his status is no less than true monarch Bailey. Wanyan, since we know that the Daozi of Wanfa has the great realm movement, we have naturally made preparations. The true ancestors have also studied it for a long time, and even obtained the cracking method from the Taoist ancestors. The great realm movement is very powerful, but it is the supernatural power of chaos. It can be called the strongest escape technique among them, but no matter how powerful it is only the supernatural power of chaos, not the supernatural power. It's nothing, and the secret technique we got from the true ancestors is a simplified method of the original supernatural power. Combined with the 10 true monarchs, it is enough to exert 1/10 of the power of the original supernatural power that seals the void. But even 1/10 of the power. It's enough to stop Wanfa Daozi from escaping. Bailey Zhenjin Dao. I hope that secret technique is reliable. Zhenjin Wanyan said nothing more. He didn't come into contact with that secret technique, because cultivating that secret technique requires 10 true monarchs with different talents, and it takes hundreds of millions of years of cultivation day and night. He was not selected, and although true monarch Bailey did not practice, he was the person in charge, so he knew the power of that secret technique. Don't worry, Daozi Wanfa dares to come, he will be dead. It's just too stupid to dare to enter our demonic sect with a mere half-step of true spirit. Moreover, he has stayed at the level of Tianjin for so long. I know what kind of secret technique I am cultivating, but no matter how the Tianjin level accumulates the background, it is not very useful. When it reaches the limit, it cannot be improved. No matter how much practice, it is still unable to progress. How many times have he been in the same period as some Taoist ancestors, but what is the result? The powerhouses of his same era can kill him with one look. Even when he entered the big universe, he was killed by Wanfa Daozi. Ridiculous. Bailey Zhenjin said with a smile. While waiting slowly, the Daozi of Wanfa Yi Tian finally came. Chapter 932 The Mighty Yi Tian, Ascent AA The Fear of the Demonic Sect. Wanfa Daozi, you really dare to come. True monarch Bailey narrowed his eyes slightly surprised. In fact, he made these preparations only to beware of Yi Tian. Ascent AA he didn't really think that Yi Tian would come. After all, the strength of the demonic sound sect is not weak. If the entire Zushan temple were to be killed, it would be almost the same. But the words of Yi Tian alone are really not enough. No matter how strong Yi Tian's life-saving ability is, he will die if he is not careful. And Yi Tian, Ascent AA who has just stepped into the half-step true spirit realm, still has a lot of room for improvement. He can cultivate step by step, step into the real monarch level, and then come to the trouble of the demonic sound sect. Of course, Yi Tian is now looking for trouble with the demonic sound sect. This is also the scene that everyone in the demonic sound sect is most looking forward to. They are very hopeful to kill Yi Tian completely. With the background of the demonic sect, even if they killed a Taoist ancestor, they would not have any trouble, and would not be tied up like other small forces. Open the big formation. First line world array. Hundreds of millions of void formations. Soul imprisonment array. 1. Void formation. A large array opened, covering this area. The power of these great formations is not very great. Basically they are not attacking great formations, but auxiliary great formations, preventing ETN from escaping or suppressing ETN's strength. Of course, the most fundamental way for the demonic sound sect to prevent ETN from escaping is to rely on the secret technique that simplifies the origin of the supernatural power, that is, the air ban. The air ban is a secret technique specially aimed at space shuttle. As long as the shuttle does not reach the level of the original supernatural power, it can be banned one by one. Even if the big world is moved, there is no way to break through the air ban. Air ban requires 10 true monarchs to jointly display, but because these 10 true monarchs do not have a high degree of air ban, they need to pay a certain price to display air ban. But as long as ETN stayed, it was worth paying a little price. Shish. 10 true monarchs appeared within the demonic sound sect, and they instantly appeared at 10 formation bases with many great formations, and immediately began to jointly display the secret technique of air control. Next moment, an invisible light curtain shrouded this area. At this moment, not only ETN couldn't leave, but even everyone in the demonic sect couldn't leave, and they were all banned in this area. Of course, if the 10 true monarchs fell and died, the air ban would naturally disappear. But those 10 true monarchs have been protected by layers of great formations. While these great formations suppressed ETN, most of the power was also to protect them. Ha ha ha, Daozi Wanfa, you didn't expect that. Under the air ban, even if your great realm moves to the extreme level, you don't want to shuttle away. This time, you are dead. True monarch Bailey laughed wildly. He wanted to see anger or fear in ETN's eyes, but ETN's eyes were like calm lake water, without any waves at all, as if he didn't care what true monarch Bailey said. ETN looked at everyone in the demonic sound sect and said softly, "True monarch Bailey, you have grown up for hundreds of millions of years, but you still underestimate me. Why do you think I have stayed as a heavenly monarch for hundreds of millions of years? My strength is far beyond your imagination. The price of looking at me is death." Boom! ETN broke out with a terrifying aura, and the original body of the blood river was displayed. At this moment, ETN's body was invincible, and his chi and blood were so strong that it was like an endless river of blood, and it was difficult for any force to destroy his body. Seeing this scene, Zhenjin Bailey and the others trembled. They felt the aura of the source divine ability. Although it was a very weak breath, it was also the source divine ability. You have created the source supernatural power. It is impossible, you are only a half-step true spirit, how can you create the original supernatural power? True monarch Bailey said in horror. Origin divine ability is a divine ability that only true ancestors can relate to, and some weak true ancestors even have no way to create origin divine ability because they do not have origin divine ability. Knowing the source divine power and not knowing the source divine ability is a dividing line between the true ancestor's strength or not, but ETN, who is only half a step into the real spirit realm, can actually know the source divine ability, which is simply unbelievable. Now, he finally understood why ETN stayed at the heavenly sovereign level for a long time, because ETN actually created the original divine power at the heavenly sovereign level, no wonder it took so long. But what he doesn't understand is that creating the source magical power at the level of the heavenly monarch cannot increase the background, it just makes his combat effectiveness stronger. Why not enter the true monarch first, and then slowly create the source magical power? What he didn't know was that ETN also really wanted to break through the half-step true spirit realm, but if he didn't complete the unity of spirit, chi and spirit, there was absolutely no way to break through. Go all, kill him at all costs. True monarch Bailey roared. Swish! The densely packed heavenly monarchs, the half-step true spirit, and many true monarchs launched an attack on ETN in unison. If he didn't have the real body of the blood river, ETN would not necessarily resist the attacks of these powerhouses. After all, facing the attacks of so many real monarchs and half-step real spirits, the blood river indestructible technique was not enough. But under the blessing of many supernatural powers such as the blood river real body and the blood river immortality technique, ETN is almost invincible. They can't break ETN's defense, but ETN's attack is enough to kill them. Boom! The boundless flames turned into fire dragons and swept around, and a Ming Tianjin was burned to ashes by the flames. The power of the chaotic supernatural power of eternal non-extinguishing is too terrifying, and it instantly killed many heavenly monarchs and half-step true monarchs of the demonic sound sect. Quote. Use your whole cards. Bailey Zhenjin Dao. Immediately, a number of true monarchs took out the incomplete half-Dao weapon. Many treasures have been born in the great universe for hundreds of millions of years, and many of them can be used to refine half-Dao artifacts or even Dao artifacts. At the very least, a top-level true monarch or true ancestor can be used to refine a half-Dao artifact. They can't refine the half-Dao weapon, but they can refine the incomplete Dao weapon, and the power is far above the chaotic treasure. At this moment, these true monarchs erupted with the power of the half-Dao artifacts, and at the expense of the half-Dao artifacts, they delivered a fatal blow. I saw a long sword-like half-Dao weapon burst open, turning into an F-sword light, instantly breaking Etienne's blood river body. Puff! The sword light penetrated the body and pierced Etienne's heart, leaving a small hole. Okay, what a powerful half-Dao weapon. I didn't expect that sacrificing a broken half-Dao weapon could break my defense. 1 inch. Etienne was a little surprised. This also proves that his source talent is a little weak, but there is no way, his realm is too low. It is already very good to be able to create the source magical power. How can he create those powerful source magical powers? However, breaking the defense is useless. Back then, when I could only use the blood river inextinguishable technique, you knocked me out again and again, and they all wiped out me. Now, just breaking the defense is only a minor injury to me. As he spoke, Etienne's broken heart recovered instantly, the small hole in his body also healed, and there was no injury at all. The other half-Dao weapons also broke Etienne's defense one by one, but they couldn't inflict heavy damage on Etienne, and only brought a little trouble to Etienne. As time passed, there were too many heavenly monarchs and half-step true spirits who fell from the demonic sound sect, and even the true monarchs gradually disappeared. At this moment, the entire demon sound sect fell into fear. Chapter 933 Dao Ancestor arrives. How can there be such a terrifying half-step true spirit? Even in chaos, there is almost no such heaven-defying half-step true spirit. True monarch Bailey was both shocked and terrified. He also has a lot of knowledge in the chaos, and even heard many legends, but he has never heard of a genius as defying the sky as Etienne, which simply broke the boundaries. If this goes on, Wanfa Daozi is not dead, and the demonic sound sect is dead. Zhenjin Bailey thought to himself. But now it's not that he can end it if he wants to. They don't want to fight, but Etienne, the Daozi of Wanfa, will not let them go. Boom! Another true monarch was slaughtered by Etienne, and his body was burned to ashes by the eternal immortality. Even true monarch Bailey was seriously injured, and he did not dare to approach Etienne at all. With the passage of time, almost all of the disciples below the heavenly monarch of the demonic sect fell to their deaths. Their strength was too weak, and even the aftermath could not be resisted. One spatial shock was enough to kill a large number of disciples. Before, there were Tianjin or Banbu Junling who helped to protect these disciples, but as more and more Tianjin died, they couldn't even take care of themselves, and naturally there was no way to protect these weak disciples. Gradually, more than 70% of the heavenly monarchs died. There were only about 20 half-step true spirits left, only 16 or 7 true monarchs remained, and 10 true monarchs were still unable to act. Moreover, all of them were not lightly injured. Perhaps after a while, the demonic sound sect of the great universe will be completely destroyed. Bailey, what should I do now? The true monarch of the demonic sound sect transmitted his voice. There is no way. I have notified the true ancestors of the demonic sound sect in the chaos. As for whether the true ancestors can save us, it is not very clear. True monarch Bailey said helplessly. Although these people have great potential, the true ancestors are located in chaos, and they can't enter the big universe at all. How can they save them? Certainly, if the true ancestors are willing to pay a huge price, they can temporarily descend into an incarnation into the big universe, but in that case, the price paid is too great, and it is even enough to make a true ancestor fall asleep. Will the true ancestors pay such a price for them? Should be impossible, true monarch Bailey thought desperately. A few seconds later, several true monarchs fell again, and even the 10 true monarchs who maintained the secret technique of air confinement joined the battle group at this moment, no longer restricting Etienne's departure. But Etienne doesn't need to leave at all, he alone is enough to destroy the demonic sound sect. Die. Etienne condensed the eternal non-extinguishment, turned into a sword, and then held the extreme sword supernatural power, and instantly hit the Bailey Zhenjin. This moment, In the 100th CJFI, the true monarch was sluggish and fell into despair. He couldn't avoid Yi Tian's attack. Once he was pierced through his body, he would definitely die. Looking at true monarch Baili who was about to be killed, Yi Tian also showed a smile on his slightly tired face. As soon as true monarch Baili dies, the demonic sound sect will have no power to resist. If I delay it any longer, I will consume too much power, and I'm afraid I can only leave. Yi Tian secretly said. His power is not endless, even though the universe in the body can store a lot of energy, and he can use various treasures to restore his power, but the battle consumes too much, and the recovery speed cannot match the consumption speed. Therefore, Yi Tian couldn't fight for a long time. If a person can fight forever, it will be too heaven-defying. Sudden, the void shook. An ancient figure appeared in front of true monarch Baili, and Yi Tian's eternal immortality extinguished instantly, and the inexhaustible immortal immortality that was constantly burning on the people of the demonic sect was also extinguished one by one. I have seen Daozu. The demonic sound sect worships the heavenly monarchs and the true monarchs one by one. Daozu. Yi Tian's pupils shrank, extremely shocked. He knew that Daozu was terrifying, even the big universe could not limit Daozu, and Daozu even only needed to pay some price to send an incarnation of power into the big universe. For example, Zushin Daozu can do this, but it is not necessary. After all, Daozu didn't want to pay those prices, it was not good for him, and some of the prices that Daozu paid were extremely terrifying prices for the true ancestors. In the absence of certain benefits, the Taoist ancestors did not want to damage their own strength. If an enemy happened to attack him, it would be a disaster. But Yi Tian is afraid that a Taoist ancestor would rather pay some price and kill him. The Taoist ancestor who appeared in front of him, Yi Tian knew the origin, was a Taoist ancestor of the demonic sect, Nanyu Taoist. Among the several Taoist ancestors of the demonic sect, he was ranked second, and his strength was not weaker than the weak. How many ancestors of Tiandao? I have seen Nanyu Daozu. Yi Tian said politely. Yi Tian, the disciple of Zushin Daozu, you are very good. You dare to slaughter so many disciples of my demonic sect. Some of them are even expected to be promoted to the true ancestor, and there is even a glimmer of hope to be promoted to Daozu. Daozu Nanyu said coldly. His murderous intent fell on Yi Tian's body, causing Yi Tian to tremble. At this moment, another figure appeared beside Yi Tian. Master, Yi Tian said in surprise. Shu Tian Daozu glanced at Yi Tian, his eyes were full of satisfaction. He stared at Nanyu Daozu and said, Nanyu, we have an agreement between Daozu and we are not allowed to intervene in the affairs of the universe. Do you want to violate the agreement? Shu Tian, I don't want to violate the agreement, but your younger brother is divided. This is to destroy the foundation of our Yinzong in the universe. Our Yinzong also paid a lot of money to send so many disciples to enter the big universe, and here are all the elites of the era of my demonic sect. How come a group of true ancestors are? Nanyu Daozu said angrily. Nanyu Daozu, I can make Yi Tian stop attacking the demonic sect, but you need to pay some price. The ancestral way of the virtual world. What, you want me to pay the price? When Nanyu Daozu heard this, he was immediately angry. If you don't want to, then don't ask for the foundation of the demonic sound sect in the universe. Zushin Daozu laughed. 1. Nanyu Daozu was extremely angry, but he did not dare to break with Zushin Daozu, otherwise the price to be paid would be too great. The foundation of the demonic sound sect in the great universe must not be destroyed, otherwise, the demonic sound sect would not be able to send people in for a long time, and even before the great universe transformed into the Tao realm, the demonic sound sect was almost out of touch with the great universe. Once this is done, then in the future, no one from the demonic sect will be able to become a Taoist here. If you want to become a Taoist ancestor, you need a quota of ancestral monuments, but how to get the quota is related to luck, and you must occupy a territory in the big universe, which is the most basic foundation. If the demonic sound sect's great cosmos foundation is destroyed, the territory will be completely divided up by other forces. In the later stage, once the entire cosmos and even the entire Taoist realm are divided up, it will be very difficult for other forces to intervene. 1 ancestral monument, 9 places. According to normal competition, the demonic sound sect is likely to get a place, which means that the demonic sound sect is expected to give birth to another Taoist ancestor. The value of a Taoist ancestor is far from comparable to other treasures, and it is the real pillar that is enough to strengthen a party's power. Okay, I'm willing to pay some price so that your disciple will no longer deal with our demon sound sect. Nanyu Daozu compromised. Chapter 934 Baron Statue. Yi Tian, a cent a, let's stop this matter. Shu Tian Daozu said to Yi Tian. Yes, master. Yi Tian nodded. Although he also really wanted to destroy the foundation of the demonic sound sect in the universe, if he really angered the Taoist ancestor of the demonic sound sect, even his master Zushan Taoist might not be able to protect him. After all, the assassination of a Taoist ancestor could not be stopped by Shu Tian Taoist, unless he protects Yi Tian at all times, but is that possible? Now that Daozu Nanyu has left the scene in person, if he is still ignorant and insists on killing these true monarchs and heavenly monarchs of the demonic sound sect, then the consequences are beyond his imagination. Therefore, it is undoubtedly the best solution to take advantage of the benefits. Nanyu, pay for the inheritance of the top 10 chaotic supernatural powers and the top innate origins relative to it. This matter will end here. How? Zushan Daozu smiled and looked at Nanyu Daozu. Dao. What? The top 10 chaotic supernatural powers in the chaos supernatural powers list are powerful enough to be comparable to some weaker origin supernatural powers, and even just imitating and transforming them can become a powerful origin supernatural power. These chaotic supernatural powers are almost the same. The basic supernatural power of the source supernatural power. You actually made me pay such a price. Nanyu Daozu said angrily. Nanyu, what is the value of chaotic supernatural powers to us? And I remember that your demonic sect has a supernatural power inheritance that ranks in the top 10 of the chaos supernatural powers list. The power is not bad, so be it. 1. Shu Tian Daozu said with a smile. Time and space shock technique. Even if it is given to you as a disciple, can he learn it? Time talent, space talent and shock talent, after the three major talents are integrated, can practice time-space shock technique, and integrate the time and space shock fruit of the three talents. Our demonic sound sect is out of use now, so we can't give it to you. It is the top innate source of time-space shock technique, the time-space shock stone, and there is another one that can be given to your disciples. Let's talk about it first. Don't try to regret it. Nanyu Dao Ancestral Dao, selected. Zushan Daozu said. That's good. Nanyu Daozu waved his hand, and two rays of light fell in front of Yi Tian. Among them is a book of inheritance that inherits the chaotic supernatural power of time-space shock, and the other is a time-space shock stone. You should go. Nanyu Daozu drove away with a gloomy face. Teacher, let's go. Zushan Daozu waved his hand, wrapped Yi Tian and left here, returning to the Zushan temple. Inside the Hall of Void Heaven, Shu Tian Daozu stared at Yi Tian with unbelievable eyes and said, Teacher, you are amazing. I thought that you might not be able to break the boundary and break the curse of the demon ban in this life. I even prepared to force you to release the curse. Even if your foundation is damaged, it is better than not being able to be promoted to a true monarch. But I didn't expect that you have actually completed the unity of spirit, energy and spirit. Now, Daozu is only a matter of time for you. However, you still have to solidify your foundation, and each realm must be promoted with the strongest foundation, otherwise you will become a Dao Patriarch in the future, and you will also be an ordinary Dao Patriarch, understand? Disciple understands. Yi Tian nodded. Teacher, as a teacher, I also know that you have a great opportunity, otherwise it is impossible to achieve the unity of spirit, and as a teacher, I don't want to go into it, but you must protect your life, and you must not reveal the secret of spirit. Although Yu Daozu knows that your combat power is amazing, he does not know that you have completed the unity of spirit, energy and spirit. But your strong fighting power is not normal. Maybe Nanyu Daozu will also have doubts. But in the chaos, there are too many unreasonable things now. Half-step true spirits with powerful combat power like you are not without them, but those geniuses rely on special treasures to be able to exert their powerful strength. After today, the master will give some information appropriately, saying that you have the gift from me. This treasure can temporarily increase the combat power, so no one will doubt it. Zushan Daozu reminded. Thank you, Master. Yi Tian is grateful. Zushan Daozu said a lot. His fighting strength is not normal. No matter how much other geniuses improve, they are far inferior to him in the half-step true spirit realm. If there is no reasonable explanation, if someone really probes his secrets, maybe his secrets are easily exposed. Therefore, methods like Zushan Daozu can help him solve his troubles. Sudden, Zushan Daozu threw a treasure, and this time Zushan Daozu also entered the big universe with power, and can carry some treasures appropriately, just like Nanyu Daozu sent the inheritance of time-space shock technique into the big universe. As long as they don't fight, the price paid by the Taoist ancestors is very small, almost negligible, so it has no effect. Ask for flowers. What is this? Yi Tian looked at the little man statue in front of him and asked curiously. This statue is the size of a palm, its body is pitch black, but it exudes a strange light, and even Yi Tian's divine sense can't penetrate into it, as if it can isolate the intrusion of divine sense and all forces. This is the statue of Baron, one of the wonders in chaos. There are wonders in the universe, and there are wonders in chaos. Some wonders are useless, while others have special effects. Chaos wonders are also relatively rare. Most of them are useless, but the Baron statue is a strange thing that can increase the battle. It can temporarily increase the combat power by 10 or even 20 times for you, even for the true ancestor. It can also increase several times the combat power is not very useful to Daozu. Zushin Daozu said. Master, this Baron statue must be extremely precious. Yi Tian asked. It's really precious, it's worth about half a Taoist weapon, said Zushin Taoist. What, half a Taoist device? Yi Tian was shocked. What an amazing wealth this is, it is countless times higher than the value of the star crystals in Shilahai, and only the value of the star DZI is higher than that of the Baron statue. However, the star DZI has not yet been conceived, and it will take a long time. In a word, the Baron statue is the most precious thing Yi Tian has ever seen. If the true ancestor sees it, he will have to fight and snatch it for him. After all, the true ancestor got the Baron statue, and his strength immediately skyrocketed several times. Moreover, it may also be of some use to that class of true ancestors. Of course, the anti-invisible ancestors may also have one or several strange objects similar to the Baron statue, and they may not necessarily see the Baron statue. Master, is this really for me? Yi Tian asked. Of course I will give it to you. If I don't give it to you, this lie will be easy to debunk. Moreover, if you can achieve the unity of spirit and spirit, I will naturally give you a reward, otherwise it will be too stingy for your teacher. The statue of Baron is here for you. It is very precious, but for a teacher, it is only a small item, so don't be embarrassed. And smiled. The disciple accepts it. Yi Tian is happy. Chapter 935 Daozu and #039, S Exhortation. Tutor, let's retreat for a while and try to improve your strength. Your current strength may be good, but it doesn't mean that no one can kill you. In the chaos, there are too many strange things. The branch does not have such strange things, but it does not mean that there will be no such things in the future. If such a thing happens, let alone the demonic sound sect, other forces may also appear such strange things. It is easy for Daozu to send one or two things in. Even other Taoist ancestors may not be able to find it in time. So, if you want to attack other forces, maybe you will be easily targeted, understand? Zushin Daozu warned. Yes, master, disciples must pay attention. Yi Tian nodded. Remember, don't think about destroying the Dark God Society, this force is not easy. Moreover, I feel that the power of the Dark God Temple Dao ancestor has invaded the big, 247, universe, and maybe sent something in. The Dark God Temple's power, the strength is stronger than our Zushin lineage. There are only a few Taoist ancestors in the Dark Temple on the bright side, but in fact, how many Taoist ancestors there are, and which Taoist ancestors are, the teacher is not very clear. Shu Tian Daozu reminded. Yi Tian was shocked when he heard it. He really wanted to destroy the Dark God Society, but now that he heard the words of Zushin Daozu, he immediately dismissed the idea. The Dark God Society is not simple. If the Dao ancestor of the Dark God Temple really sent some big killers, if he goes to the Dark God Society to cause trouble, he might be unlucky and be directly killed, which would be too wrong. In the next few days, let's practice seclusion and practice honestly. Yi Tian thought so. Soon, the Zushin Daozu left, and Yi Tian also stayed in the Zushin Temple honestly, occasionally discussing the avenues with the disciples of the Zushin Temple, and then returned to the human race to deal with affairs, and the rest of the time was in retreat. Now, he has just stepped into the half-step true spirit realm, and there is still a long way to go. What he condenses is the chaotic true spirit, which is above the supreme true spirit and the supreme true spirit. The fusion of such a powerful true spirit and such a powerful body is far more difficult than others, so it will take a lot of time and resources. In addition, he has just obtained the time-space shock technique, so he naturally needs to practice it. The time-space shock technique is a powerful supernatural power in the top 10 of the Chaos Supernatural Powers list. The real ranking is the third. Although Yi Tian has created 4 primordial supernatural powers at present, in fact, the 3-dimensional unity of essence, chi and spirit is not very powerful. The other three origin divine powers are Blood River Avatar, Extinguishing God, and the divine power like origin divine power, Shenwei. Shenwei uses the fluctuation of divine power to form a shock wave and gravitational wave. The power of the shock wave is very powerful, and it is more terrible than eternal fire. One blow is enough to shatter the demonic sound sect, while the gravitational wave can absorb all items, even can deflect enemy attacks. Before, when he was fighting the demonic sound sect, he didn't use his divine power at all, because it was unnecessary. The true monarchs of the demonic sound sect couldn't threaten him at all, so there was no need for him to reveal another source of divine power. But the power of Shenwei is still not as strong as the time-space shock technique in the strict sense, and slightly worse than the time-space shock technique. Moreover, once he has practiced the time-space shock technique, he can gradually improve it according to the time-space shock technique, and create his own time-space or shock-type source magic power. The creation of the original supernatural power is not something out of nothing. If there is a chaotic supernatural power as an elegant consideration, the probability of creating it is much higher. He was able to create the 4 origin magical powers, but he used a lot of chaotic magical powers. Without those chaotic magical powers, he would not be able to create the original magical powers. First, practice the time-space shock technique, and then slowly complete the fusion of the half-step true spirit realm. Yi Tian muttered. Yi Tian was in closed-door cultivation, but the fact that the demonic sound sect was almost wiped out by Yi Tian completely detonated countless forces in the entire universe. God of War Tower. The goddess Yunzi, who was already in the real monarch realm, was shocked when she got the information about Yi Tian. How is it possible? How could Daozi Wanfa almost destroy the demonic sound sect? The demonic sound sect has dozens of true monarchs, and the true monarch Bailey is also very strong. To be able to achieve this level, is it incredible? This simply breaks cognition. Goddess Yunzi was extremely surprised, and frowned deeply. She always felt that Yi Tian's combat power was too abnormal. Yi Tian can be promoted with the strength of the 9-star peak god, plus the detached strength increase. Even if it is stronger than her, it will not be too much. Moreover, she has also cultivated the chaotic supernatural powers to the extreme level at the Tianjin level, and she has practiced several chaotic supernatural powers. Even though Yi Tian has cultivated a lot of chaotic supernatural powers, no matter how many chaotic supernatural powers, she only makes herself free from defects and does not increase her strength, would be too big. Therefore, no matter how amazing Yi Tian's potential is, he is only twice as powerful as her. She is in the half-step true spirit realm, and when she meets Bailey Zhenjin in the real monarch realm, she will definitely be killed by one move. True monarch Bailey is not an ordinary true monarch, he was once a 9-star general. How could such a powerful true monarch be inferior to Yi Tian, who is half-step true spirit realm? Moreover, Yi Tian entered the demonic sound sect alone, facing the power of the entire demonic sound sect. What kind of exaggerated strength would this require? Could it be a strange thing with increased combat power? Goddess Yunzi guessed that this was the only possibility. There are many people who have guessed the same as Goddess Yunzi, and they have all guessed that Yi Tian has a strange object that increases the combat power, and it is not an ordinary strange object but a top-level strange object 5.8. Soon after, a rumor spread. Yi Tian has a top-level strange item in his hand, which can increase his combat power by a maximum of 20 times. This time, the secret about why Yi Tian was so powerful also came out. No one was curious anymore, but they were all afraid of Yi Tian. After all, Yi Tian is already very powerful, and with such top-level wonders, he is definitely one of the most unprovoked people in the universe. With the passage of time, the demonic sound sect gradually recovered. Although it is far inferior to before, as long as the true monarch Bailey is there, the demonic sound sect can recover to a certain scale sooner or later. And Yi Tian's strength is also growing steadily. The fusion of the flesh body and the true spirit is getting higher and higher. The time and space shock technique has finally been practiced, and the strength has increased again. In a flash, tens of millions of years have passed. Chapter 936: The Rapid Evolution of the Big Universe. The time-space shock technique has reached the limit. Yi Tian has rarely practiced the time-space shock technique in these tens of millions of years, but he has also cultivated it to the extreme level. The power of the time-space shock technique at the limit level is indeed very powerful, which has increased Yi Tian's strength a lot. But in these tens of millions, Yi Tian's biggest improvement was his cultivation. At this moment, he has already merged 70% of his physical body and true spirit, and his strength is more than 3 times stronger than when he had just stepped into the half-step true spirit. In addition, Yi Tian has also cultivated his three main source magical powers, Blood River Avatar, Extinguishing God and Shenwei, to the perfect state, but unfortunately these three source magical powers are not very strong, and they are only stronger than the time-space shock technique. In addition, Yi Tian's Dao prototype has also become more powerful. The prototype of his avenue is 70,000 meters long and nearly 30,000 meters wide. These prototypes of avenues are definitely more terrifying than an ordinary avenue. However, after the rudimentary cultivation of the Great Tao reaches 70,000 meters in length, it will be more difficult to make progress. No matter how high Yi Tian's comprehension is and the more resources, there is no way to grow rapidly. After all, many true monarchs are trapped in the real spirit realm for a lifetime, and it is difficult to cultivate a prototype of the avenue to the perfection level of 100,000 meters. Even some real monarchs have cultivated a prototype of the Big 29 to 9,999 meters, and it has always been difficult to break the shackles of the last meter. Don't worry, the source magical power can be slowly created and improved. There is no need to rush to create a powerful source magical power. The most important thing at present is to complete the fusion of the true spirit and the physical body, and enter the real spirit realm as soon as possible. Only then can you continue to improve your cultivation, strengthen the spirit. Yi Tian thought to himself. He is different from others. There are three aspects to the spirit of others. If you want to improve in the three aspects, you must improve one by one. And he has completed the unity of spirit, qi and spirit. Even if he arbitrarily improves one aspect, the other two aspects will improve rapidly. This is one of the benefits of unity of spirit, spirit and spirit. This day, countless creatures in the great universe have discovered that the primordial energy of chaos in the universe has begun to rise rapidly, and many places that were originally ordinary have turned into treasures of cultivation. Countless top cultivation treasures were born one by one, countless treasures were quickly bred, and even rare world treasures were born one after another. This phenomenon has attracted the attention of many major forces. Yi Tian was also the first to receive communications from the human race, Zushan Temple in Yanglong Zhenjin. So, Yi Tian went out. Zushandian Conference Hall. True monarchs such as Yi Tian, Ascent AA Moon Swallowing True Monarch, Pengyu True Monarch, Dark Light True Monarch gathered here. Among the people present, Yi Tian has the highest status and the strongest strength, but the person in charge is the true monarch Moon Swallowing, because Yi Tian is in seclusion all the year round, and rarely manages the affairs of the Void Heaven Hall, so it is not easy to intervene. True monarch Moon Swallowing saw that the staff had almost arrived, so he said, "Everyone, you should have all received the news that the great universe is now evolving very fast, hundreds of times faster than before. Originally, according to our expectations, the great it will take at least 10 billion years for the universe to advance to the level of the quasi-Dao world. The quasi-Dao world is second only to the Dao world. Although it still cannot accommodate the true ancestor, it can accommodate half-step true ancestors. According to the current level of evolution, perhaps in another 100,000 years, the quasi-Dao world will be formed. At that time, the third batch of personnel is expected to arrive. The third batch, so fast. All the true monarchs were shocked. Many of them, the true monarchs, have not entered the big universe very much, and they thought they could fetch a lot of treasures, but once the third batch of personnel arrives, the competition pressure will be too great. It is conceivable that the third batch of personnel must be true monarchs, and there are even invincible true monarchs who can fight with the true ancestor, and even kill the true ancestor. In front of the true monarch, they are just ants. Isn't it ridiculous to compete with such a true monarch for a chance? Originally, according to their plan, if they cultivated with peace of mind for another 10 billion years, they would definitely become the true monarch at the peak of the true spirit realm, and even have a glimmer of hope to step into the half-step true ancestor. In case of getting some big opportunities in the big universe, I am not afraid of the third batch of personnel, and even hope to compete for the Daozu place in the future. But now the big universe is evolving too fast, which is too unfavorable for them. How could this happen? It's so abnormal. I've seen ancient records, and the birth of the Taoist world is generally a normal evolutionary process, and it won't be like the current situation. Pengyu Zhenjin wondered. I am not sure as well. True monarch Swallowing Moon shook his head, and immediately said, perhaps the Taoist ancestors know the reason, but the Taoist ancestors will not easily tell us the situation unless we ask the ancestors. 1. Ask your ancestor. Who dares to ask? If there is no astonishing big thing, they don't dare to disturb the Taoist ancestor. Usually they just contact the true ancestor of the Zushan lineage, and then the true ancestor will contact the Taoist. The only person who is truly qualified to contact Daozu is Yi Tian. However, they did not rush Yi Tian. A sent AA anyway, the specific secret will definitely come out soon, so there is no hurry. Everyone, when the quasi-Dao world is 10%, the major forces will act to completely stabilize their territory, and even prepare to make the territory into a real country. When the true country is 10%, it will be more difficult for other forces to invade us, and the real country can continue to condense Qi-Luck to form Qi-Luck Chaos True Dragon. Moon swallowing true monarch Dao. But the core of the real country hasn't arrived yet. A true king. As soon as the third batch of personnel arrives, the core of the real country will naturally arrive. We will make preparations first. In addition, we can annex some weak and small forces to expand the sphere of influence as much as possible. The bigger the real country, the greater the benefits to us. True monarch swallowing Moon said. Everyone nodded, and even Yi Tian agreed. If he hadn't joined the Hall of Void Heaven, he might not have understood the meaning of the real country's representation. If he wanted to obtain the place of Taoist ancestors, he had to build the real country of 247. Building a real country requires the core of the real country, but the core of the real country is too precious, equivalent to the value of a Taoist weapon, and the major forces dare not carry the core of the real country in the early stage, otherwise once it is taken away, the loss will be lost. Just too big. The core of the real country can condense the luck, and the high level of the core of the real country is shrouded in luck, which is equivalent to the sun of destiny of the Taoist world, and has an increased chance of obtaining the ancestral monument. Because of this, it is very difficult for the true ancestors of non-major forces to obtain the place of Daozu. While there are several Dao patriarchs from some of the top powers, it is difficult for scattered cultivators to become Dao patriarchs, and they don't even understand the secrets. Of course, it is not that a loose cultivator cannot become a Taoist ancestor. As long as the strength is sufficient, one person can defeat a big force, snatch the core of the real country, and one person can build a real country, so as to obtain the Taoist ancestor position in the subsequent competition and become a leader. Daozu. But this probability is too low, and most geniuses who dared to do so died. In the days that followed, the major top powers were cleaning up the surrounding small powers. All powers that did not have Dao ancestors were invaded one after another, and it was unknown how many true monarchs had fallen. And the sphere of influence of the Zushan Temple has also grown rapidly, and in just 1,000 years, it has grown to several times the area of A the past. And the Dark God Society, which has always been in the dark, has also come to the light, and has broken through many forces in one fell swoop, also occupying a large territory. Chapter 937 Prepare to leave the Yangtian Temple. The big universe, the Yangtian Temple. At this moment, the expressions of the three true monarchs in the Yangtian Temple changed greatly, looking at a group of true monarchs and a large number of heavenly monarchs outside the town hall. Everyone, what do you mean? True monarch Yanglong asked. The people who besieged the Yangtian Temple were none other than the powerhouses of the Immortal Gate, one of the top forces. The Immortal Gate is a big force that is not weaker than the Zushan Temple. It has dozens of true monarchs, while the Yangtian Temple is relatively weak. There are only 3 true monarchs, and except for the Yanglong true monarch, the other 2 true monarchs are weak chickens, is useless at all, even inferior to the top half-step true spirit powerhouse of Immortal Sect. Because the Yangtian Temple has the Yanglong Zhenjin, the territory occupied is also very large, and the Yangtian Temple is not very far from the territory of the Immortal Gate, so the Immortal Gate takes a fancy to the territory of the Yangtian Temple. The most important thing is that the backing of the Yangtian Temple is too weak. There is no Taoist ancestor, not even the top true ancestor, just a moderately weak true ancestor. Such a force is not qualified to build a real country at all, and has no choice but to be annexed. Submit to the Immortal Sect and spare your life. Junlong Zhenjin of Immortal Gate said coldly. Junlong Zhenjin, if the Immortal Sect dares to destroy us, are you not afraid of offending the Yangtian true ancestor? The Yangtian true ancestor may be far inferior to the Immortal Sect, but it is not something you can offend. Yanglong Zhenjin tried to move out of Yangtian Junzu to save the current predicament of Yangtian Temple. Although he took refuge in Yi Tian, he was the person in charge of the Yangtian Temple in the universe after all, and he still had a lot of affection for the Yangtian Temple, so he naturally didn't want the Yangtian Temple to be destroyed. Ha ha ha, Yangtian true ancestor. That waste material true ancestor, we don't know how many such true ancestors are in our Immortal Sect. Our Immortal Sect just sends a powerful true ancestor to destroy you in chaos. The Yangtian Temple, using the true ancestor of Yangtian to threaten me is simply courting death. Junlong Zhenjin said angrily. Attack. He no longer gave the Yangtian temple a chance, and planned to directly destroy the Yangtian temple, and then send someone to occupy the site of the Yangtian temple. Boom. The rounds of attacks fell, and the great formation of the Yangtian temple town hall soon split apart. At this time, the other two true monarchs in the Yangtian temple and many other heavenly monarchs were terrified, and some even began to beg for mercy. True monarch Yanglong, it's all your fault. If you surrendered earlier, we wouldn't have died. One of the three true monarchs of Yangtian temple, Koyu true monarch, pointed at true monarch Yanglong and cursed. Others also blamed true monarch Yanglong, who blamed true monarch Yanglong for cutting off their last chance, and now immortal sect did not give them a chance to live at all, so begging for mercy was useless. A sent AA. True monarch Yanglong was very disappointed with the people in the Yangtian temple. These people were too spineless, and they didn't dare to resist, but instead blamed him for everything. Maybe I should leave the Yangtian temple earlier, but I don't know if the master will arrive in time. True monarch Yanglong murmured in his heart. He has already sent a message to Daozi Wanfa, but if Yi Tian is in deep retreat, he may not be able to receive the information in time, and the immortal gate is about to break the great formation. Once the formation is broken, with the current situation of Yangtian temple, it is impossible to resist, and it will be destroyed in an instant. Click. The great formation was about to shatter completely, and the breath of despair permeated the Yangtian temple. With the laughter of everyone in the immortal sect, the great formation of the Yangtian temple was completely shattered, and the heavenly monarch and the true monarch of the Yangtian temple were completely exposed to the powerhouses of the immortal sect. Kill them, Zhenlong Zhenjin ordered. Boom. The terrifying attack was bombarded, and endless rays of light covered everything in the Yangtian temple. At this time, true monarch Yanglong gave up his resistance, closed his eyes, his consciousness shrank his soul realm, and there was no longer a trace of resistance, he was only ready to meet the arrival of death. Ah! The many heavenly monarchs in the Yangtian temple, as well as the half-step true spirit and true monarch, were melted away one by one, and they could not resist the attack of the immortal gate at all. But Zhenjin Yanglong found that he was not dead, and he didn't even feel at all. So, he opened his eyes, and his consciousness extended out. This, A sent AA. True monarch Yanglong was shocked. The rest of the Yangtian temple were almost dead, and he was the only one left. The reason why he didn't die was not because the immortal people let him go, but because someone stood in front of him and protected him. Owner. True monarch Yanglong bowed respectfully. Standing in front of him is his master, Wanfa Daozi Yi Tian. Go back first, Yi Tian said lightly. Yes. True monarch Yanglong nodded. The people of immortal sect stopped attacking. Zhenlong Zhenjin also stared at Yi Tian with a solemn expression, and asked, Wanfa Daozi, what are you doing here? With an unfathomable look behind Yi Tian's hands, he said, Yangtian temple, I will protect it. Wanfa Daozi, what do you mean? Your Zushan temple is very far away from here. Could it be that you still want to occupy this place across the area? What's the benefit of this? It would be too unreasonable to forcibly occupy the Hall of Void Heaven. Zhenlong Zhenjin said quickly. If it was someone else, Zhenlong Zhenjin would have done it without saying a word, but the person standing in front of him was Daozi Wanfa. According to legend, one person almost killed the werewolf of the demonic sound sect. If it wasn't for the appearance of the Taoist ancestors of the demonic sound sect of the great universe would probably have long since disappeared. Although the immortal sect also has a whole card now, and even feels that there is hope to kill Yi Tian, A sent AA, but they dare not really kill Yi Tian with the power of the sect. But these people he brought can't beat Yi Tian, A sent AA, not even some people can escape. Therefore, he must endure. Yangtian temple has been a secret subordinate force of our Zushan temple for a long time, and Yanglong Zhenjin is one of my subordinates. This place should belong to Zushan temple, so I can't protect my territory. Yi Tian said coldly. This, A sent AA. Zhenlong Zhenjin hesitated. Just now, true monarch Yanglong called Yi Tian his master, and he was obviously Yi Tian's subordinate. But Yangtian temple is definitely not Yi Tian's potential as Zhao power, otherwise the other people in Yangtian temple will not dare to kill as long as they move out of Yi Tian, A sent AA, and Yi Tian has not protected others. But now, those people are dead, and there is no evidence of death. If you don't go back, then don't go. Yi Tian's murderous aura filled the air, and the terrifying aura seemed to freeze this piece of time and space. Come on. Zhenlong Zhenjin was shocked, and quickly retreated with the others from the immortal sect, otherwise, if he did not retreat, he would really not be able to leave. Shish. In an instant, the people from the immortal sect retreated from him. Yanglong, gather your loyal subordinates as soon as possible and prepare to leave the Yangtian temple. As for this territory, I really can't keep it all the time. I will find a way to trade with a major force in exchange for a piece of land near the Zushan temple. A small territory. In this case, even if there is a loss, it will not be too big. Yi Tian urged. Yes, master. True monarch Yanglong nodded. Chapter 938 The Legend of the Realm. Soon after, true monarch Yanglong announced his departure from the Yangtian temple, and brought a group of people to join the outer organization of the Zushan temple, and became Yi Tian's personal force, serving Yi Tian completely. With the departure of true monarch Yanglong, the foundation of Yangtian temple in the big universe was completely destroyed. Although there were still many peripheral members and a few core personnel, their strength was too weak. In addition, Yi Tian sold the area where the Yangtian temple was located to the Pan Shenzong, so the Pan Shenzong easily occupied this territory without anyone else intervening. And the Pantheon sect also ceded an area near the territory of the Void Heaven Hall to Yi Tian. A and Yi Tian let the tribe settle here, occupied the place, and announced the ownership of the place. In this way, the Yangtian temple has completely become history in the big universe. Chaos in an area. True ancestor Yang Tian knew about the situation of the great universe, and learned that the great universe Yangtian temple, which he had paid a huge price for, was completely destroyed, and that many elites were killed one by one, and even true monarch Yanglong had betrayed, and he was instantly furious. However, he has no way to enter the big universe for the time being, and he does not dare to take revenge against the Zushan lineage and the Immortal Gate. What many people don't know is that the changes in the big universe have attracted the attention of Taoist ancestors. This day, 247, a group of Taoist conscious incarnations appeared in front of the cosmic barriers outside the big universe, and one by one, they looked at the big universe and began to discuss. I thought it would take 10 billion years for the big universe to evolve into the quasi-Tao world, but now it only takes 100,000 years to evolve into the quasi-Tao world. This is not normal, I have never heard of such a thing. A Taoist wondered. It should be something happened in the universe. Could it have something to do with the Dark Temple? The Dark Temple master of the Dark Temple is very mysterious and has an unusual origin. We don't even know which era the Taoist ancestor was, and we have never seen it before. If you have seen his true colors, maybe he did it. Another Taoist ancestor guessed. It is possible that the Dark Temple seemed to have sent a group of people in privately before, and even had the power of Tao ancestor. Although there is no evidence to prove that it is the Tao ancestor of the Dark Temple, it is only possible that they did it. A Taoist ancestor said coldly, as if he didn't like the people in the Dark Temple. Ha ha ha, are you arranging our Dark Temple again? A young man in black armor and a robe appeared on the cosmic barrier of the big universe. He wears a mask, and even Daozu's power is difficult to penetrate this mask, and even this person's breath is very strange, changing all the time, as if no one knows his true breath. But the Daozu present knew this young man. He is impressively one of the Taoist ancestors who often act outside the Dark Temple, the Ghost-Face Taoist. Ghost-Face, I didn't arrange your Dark Temple. Isn't this time the big cosmos accident caused by your Dark Temple? The War-Blade Daozu of the Temple of War said coldly. Hey, Ghost-Faced Daozu said with a gloomy smile, this time, you didn't guess wrong. This matter is really related to our Dark Temple. We just tried it, but we didn't expect it to be successful. However, this matter is concealed. I can't sent AAT stop you. If you really investigate carefully, you will be able to investigate clearly in less than 100 years. A sent AA. What happened? One after another, the Taoist ancestors locked the ghost-faced Taoist ancestors. If the ghost-faced Taoist ancestors didn't say anything, they would probably take tough measures. Old friends, do you want to do it? If it weren't for our Dark Temple, the big universe would not evolve so quickly, and you would probably waste a lot of time. Isn't this situation very good now? Said the Ghost-Face. Ghost-Face, don't talk nonsense, what's the specific situation? If you don't say it, our strengths will do our best to clear the power of your Dark Temple. A Taoist ancestor of the Immortal Sect threatened. Okay, that's all I said. Ghost-Faced Daozu said quickly. He is not going to hide it either. After all, this matter cannot be concealed. If the major forces find out, I am afraid they will do their best to deal with their Dark Temple. Although the power of the Dark Temple in the big universe is not weak, and even has a trump card, there is absolutely no way to resist all the forces. Therefore, the Dark Temple will not seek death, otherwise, it will not take the initiative to reveal the news. It's very simple. This future Tao realm is different from the normal Tao realm, such as the current big universe. There are too many good things, haven't you, CJFI, found them? Wait, this is the big universe. How can the general big universe have any value, and this universe has only just become a big universe, and so many good things have been born? If it becomes a Tao world, then it is worth it. Maybe then, the treasures born in this Taoist world are enough to make us all crazy, and even fight for it. The ghost-faced Taoist said. Saying this, the Taoist ancestors who were present were suddenly enlightened. In fact, many Taoist ancestors had doubts in this regard before, and they were also very curious that the resources of this big universe were too rich. The big universe is just rich in resources, it is lucky, and it happened to breed these good things. But now, the words of the ghost-faced Daozu have made them aware of another information. This big universe or the future Tao world is not simple. At this time, the ghost-faced Daozu continued. After our Dark Temple learned about the anomaly of this big universe, we began to research and explore. In a test not long ago, we finally completely clarified the origin of this universe. It should be this before the fusion of the two universes. One of the universes is not simple, that is, the universe where the Daozi of Wanfa is located. That universe seems to be just the most ordinary universe, but it is not a universe that was born naturally, but a universe transformed by the original fragments of the domain. What? The original fragment of the domain? How is this possible? Many Taoist ancestors were shocked. Others don't know what the domain source fragment is, and even the true ancestors don't know what the domain source fragment is, but the Taoist ancestors basically know what it is. The realm can be said to be a taboo of chaos, because the realm is above the Tao. But no one has seen the domain, because there is no domain in this chaotic territory. How big is the chaos? These Tao ancestors actually don't know. It is boundless, and in an extremely distant place. There are restricted areas that block the creatures in this chaotic territory, and even stop the Tao ancestors. There were once Taoist ancestors who went deep into the restricted area, but they all disappeared one by one, and no one ever came back. Gradually, the Taoist ancestors stopped stepping there. But over the years, some things have spread from the restricted area, including records about the domain. The realm surpasses the Tao realm, and each realm is extremely powerful. It is a world built by a great existence above the Tao ancestor, not a natural birth. The source fragments of the domain are the source fragments formed after the domain is broken, and can form the universe after a long time. But this is a secret, only the people of the Dark Temple know it, and other Taoist ancestors are not clear. If the fragments of the domain form a universe, we can definitely sense the breath of the domain, but now we don't feel it. How can you people in the Dark Temple know? Shu Tian Daozu asked. Ha ha ha, because the spirits contained in the fragments of the domain are hidden, not hidden in the origin of the universe, and you have not mastered the method to detect the spirits of the domain, so naturally you can't find it. However, after the big universe has become a quasi-Tao world, the spirit of the domain must also be integrated with the origin of the universe, otherwise it cannot be promoted successfully. The ghost-faced Daozu said. Chapter 939. In the same vein of the virtual sky, tens of millions of true monarchs are coming. Can domain fragments evolve into universes? Many Taoist ancestors knew such secrets for the first time. It is not their fault. After all, the domain is too mysterious, and they have never seen the domain. The understanding of the domain comes from some incomplete books from the Forbidden Area, and ancient treasures. Ghostface, it seems that your Dark Temple has obtained a lot of ancient treasures from the restricted area, and you even know such secrets. A Taoist ancestor said in shock. The Ghostface smiled and said, our Dark Temple is just lucky and just knows the secret. Our chaotic territory is surrounded by the Forbidden Area, and the location of this universe is also very close to the Forbidden Area. It should be a domain fragment from the Forbidden Area. The edge rushed out, landed in this area, and slowly evolved into a universe, which was then used by people for the fusion process of the two universes, thus giving birth to the big universe and the future Tao realm. If you say that, the value of this universe is unimaginable. Will there be domain inheritance here? A Taoist was moved. Domain legacy. Other Taoist ancestors were also excited, eager to enter this universe and search for the unknown inheritance. There is not necessarily a domain inheritance. Zushin Daozu said. How big is the domain? Even if it is a fragment, it is estimated that there is nothing. If there is, we should be able to find it easily. What if the level of the realm is too high, and we Taoist ancestors can't find it? Some Taoist ancestors expressed different opinions. Maybe there is an inheritance, and it was secretly taken away by the Dark Temple. A Taoist ancestor who did not deal with the Dark Temple said. Our Dark Temple has not obtained any inheritance from the realm. Ghost-faced Daozu quickly explained. I can make an oath of origin. If there is inheritance from the realm, our Dark Temple cannot tell the truth now, and will definitely search for other inheritances secretly. Judging from our investigation, this universe is just the evolution of the fragments of the domain, and there is no inheritance or other treasures. But even so, the value of this future Dao realm is far above the average Dao realm. If there is a treasure that can only be nurtured by the realm, it will be too great for us. A Taoist said, Ghostface, you haven't said why the big universe suddenly evolved. Even if it is transformed by the fragments of the domain, it will not evolve so fast suddenly. Asked Zushin Daozu. Because we found the spirit of the domain, and let out a little power of the spirit, this led to the sudden evolution of the big universe. However, the spirit of the domain was hidden again, and it was hidden deeper. Even our Dark Temple is difficult to find. It will take a long time to come out. But after 100,000 years, the quasi-Dao world will be formed, and the spirit will naturally appear, so there is no need to spend a long time to find it. The ghost-faced Daozu explained. Then let's wait 100,000 years. Many Taoist ancestors decided. However, among the many Dao ancestors, Shutian Dao ancestor was looking forward to it on the surface, without any meaning, but in his heart he was thinking of his disciple, Yi Tian. Yi Tian's talent is too shocking. Could it be that he has obtained the inheritance of the domain? But soon, he shook his head again. Judging from Yi Tian's situation, there are no other inheritances in his body, all of them come from the Zushin lineage and the local inheritance of the universe, but the talent is too powerful and against the sky. It should be the fate of the fragments of the domain that condensed on my disciple, creating an amazing talent in my disciple, far beyond our domain. Thinking of this, Shu Tian Daozu was extremely excited. After all, Yi Tian has already united spirit, energy, and spirit, and it is inevitable to become a Taoist ancestor, and because he does not rely on the ancestral monument, he is perfectly integrated with Taoism, and has great potential, so it is not difficult to surpass him. Even, Yi Tian is expected to transcend Dao ancestor. At that time, not to mention the fact that the Zushin lineage has become stronger, he is even expected to use Yi Tian's hand to attack the next realm. This is a man who attains the Dao and ascends to heaven. With the passage of time, 100,000 years have passed in a blink of an eye. This day, the entire big universe has begun to transform again, and its volume has become larger and larger. 10 times, 100 times, 1,000 times. It expanded by 1,000 times before finally ending the transformation. At the same time, a terrifying force emerged from somewhere in the universe and merged into the origin of the universe. This scene, other people inside the big universe did not notice anything. But many Taoist ancestors outside the universe screamed one by one, because that power is the spirit of the realm, which contains a power beyond the source. It can only be sensed, but cannot be intercepted. Sure enough, it is the spirit of the realm, and the ghost face did not lie. A Taoist ancestor. At this time, many Taoist ancestors had new thoughts. Before, although the birth of a future Tao world attracted their attention, it was more that the true ancestors below were busy, but these Tao ancestors did not pay much attention because it was useless to them. But now it's different. When it comes to the secrets of the domain fragments, they must intervene. More geniuses must be sent into this quasi-Tao world. Maybe this place will become the new core Tao world of this chaotic territory in the future. Zushin Daozu sighed. The other Taoist ancestors also thought the same, and immediately left one after another to start a new round of preparations. Hall of Fake Heaven. The human race and other subordinate forces under the Zushin Temple are very busy, because the big universe has been promoted to the quasi-Tao world. The entire big universe has become 10,000 times larger, and the new territories have also increased 10,000 times. Such a huge territory is waiting for their occupation. Of course, the major top powers have an agreement to only occupy the newly emerging territories near them, and not to interfere in the territories of other forces, otherwise it would be equivalent to breaking the rules. Then, the territory occupied by the Zushin Temple has increased 10,000 times in just 100 years. This is such a huge territory, and it is countless times that of a universe. At this time, even an ordinary human being of the human race may occupy Yan Xingchen alone, a lord. A little more powerful human is enough to occupy a huge territory. This is a brand new era and an era of rapid development. And soon, the third group of people came from chaos to the big universe. The arrival of these people means that the competition in the quasi-Tao world will increase many times, and it is also many times cruel. Outside the Hall of Void Heaven, many true monarchs, half-step true spirits, and celestial monarchs headed by Yi Tian are welcoming the disciples of the Zushan lineage from chaos. Boom! The void split open, and silhouettes emerged. Basically all of them were true monarchs, with only a very small number of heavenly monarchs. Why so many disciples? True monarch Moon Swallowing was shocked. Originally, he guessed that the third batch of disciples should have at most several thousand, and at most tens of thousands. After all, the people who can come in are relatively powerful people with unusual identities. But the current situation is that the densely packed true monarchs have descended, and there are too many. +5. B. Absolutely. How powerful is the Zushan lineage? There are countless true monarchs accumulated over countless years. But how could the Zushan lineage send so many true monarchs? Is this a war? Yi Tian also frowned, feeling that something was wrong. The number of true monarchs is too many. Soon, the transmission was over. There are tens of millions of true monarchs coming, ranging from weak to strong, with different levels. Moreover, among these people are the ancestors of the Taoist ancestors, the true disciples and the descendants of the ancestors of the Taoist ancestors, and many of them are not lower than Yi Tian, A or even slightly higher than Yi Tian. Boom! A true monarch walked out from among tens of millions of true monarchs and landed in front of Yi Tian. Junior brother, hello. The true monarch smiled. Chapter 940 The Real Country of Virtual Innocence, Success. I have seen senior brother Longhai. Yi Tian said politely. He has already recognized the identity of the true monarch in front of him. He is a direct disciple that Master Shu Tiandaozu received a long time ago. He has practiced for a long time and is now at the pinnacle level of the true spirit realm. There is only one way left. When the enlightenment is complete, one can hit the Tao realm and become a true ancestor. And according to what he knew, this senior brother Longhai had killed more than one true ancestor, his combat power was very strong, and he also had a very high ranking in the chaos, ranking second among the true monarchs of the Zushan lineage. As for the first true monarch, he practiced in chaos a long time ago, and no one could contact him. Oh, I didn't expect younger brother Yi Tian to know me too. Zhenjin Longhai was a little surprised. Senior brother Longhai is so famous, I have already heard about it. Yi Tian said quickly, Junior brother, 247, many disciples of the Zushan lineage have arrived, and we will talk about it later in the future. Let's arrange all the brothers first. Longhai Zhenjin Dao, it is good. Yi Tian nodded. Immediately, many true monarchs were arranged in this area. Although a single virtual hall can accommodate so many people, it is too crowded. And the territory occupied by the Zushan temple is too large, there is no need to squeeze into a Zushan temple. Then, in this area, one after another magnificent palaces fell on the starry sky continents. Void Heaven, God of War Tower, Immortal Gate, Mercenary Alliance, Giant Axe City, Pantheon. The true monarchs of countless top powers have entered the quasi-Tao world, and the army of true monarchs sent by each top power has reached tens of millions, and even the top powers have sent hundreds of millions of true monarchs. Hundreds of millions of true monarchs entered the realm of quasi-Tao, which seemed to be many, but they still couldn't turn any waves. The list of true monarchs on the ancestral monument was instantly replaced, and all the true monarchs who were on the true monarch list before disappeared, replaced by another batch of true monarchs. Each of these true monarchs has been at the pinnacle of true monarchs for countless years, and all of them have a record of beheading true ancestors. Hall of Fake Heaven. After many true monarchs settled down, Yi Tian finally had time to chat alone with true monarch Longhai. Little junior brother, before entering the Quandao realm this time, Master mentioned you to me, but praised you many times. Zhenjin Longhai said with a smile. Senior brother Longhai is amazing, ranking 18th on the true sovereign list, and I'm only half a step into the true spirit realm. Yi Tian said modestly. The two chatted for a while. Yi Tian suddenly asked, Senior brother Longhai, this time the major forces have dispatched at least tens of millions of true monarchs into the quasi-Tao world, why is this? This is almost half of the number of true monarchs of the major top forces. Longhai Zhenjin put away his smile and said solemnly, Little junior brother, Master did not reveal too much, but he said that there are many opportunities to enter the quasi-Tao world. Once this quasi-Tao world is promoted to the Tao world, it will surpass other Tao worlds. Because of this, the major top forces have sent many true monarchs in, and even said that once the Taoist realm is established, a large number of real ancestors will come in, and the competitiveness is far superior to the general Taoist realm. According to my speculation, this quasi-Tao world is not simple, and there are even things that attract Tao ancestors. 1. What attracts Taoist ancestors? Yi Tian was quite surprised. Even the ancestral monuments are not attractive to Daozu. Will their future Dao world produce something that attracts Daozu? However, this possibility is very high. Otherwise, the Taoist ancestors would not personally arrange for the true monarchs to enter the quasi-Taoist world, and they must have discovered something. Little junior brother, after a period of time, the Zushan temple will establish the Zushan real kingdom, and then it will arrange a better territory for your human race. Once the real country is established successfully, it will be more difficult for other forces to invade the real country, and your human race will be safer. And every true monarch will also get a territory and become the owner of the territory, and can use the power of the territory to cultivate and kill the enemy. Longhai Zhenjin said. Thank you senior brother Longhai. Yi Tian thanked. He is also very curious about the real country, knowing that once the real country is established, it will form a real country enchantment and be isolated from the outside world, as if it turned into a new world. Therefore, the establishment of a real country has only advantages and no disadvantages. And in the real country, any creature enjoys luck, the stronger the strength, the more luck it enjoys. Once you become the true ancestor, you can also use the real country to contact the ancestral monument and be eligible to compete for the ancestral monument. Yi Tian is not interested in the quota of ancestral monuments, but if the real country is established, the human race will gain territory, and if the territory is blessed, the incident of zero attack on the human race will hardly be published again. In the days that followed, the Hall of Void Heaven began to get busy, working hard to build the real kingdom. Building a real country requires not only the core of the real country, but also countless resources and materials. Longhai Zhenjin brought the core of the real country and a lot of materials, but they still lacked some resources in the realm of quasi-Dao, that is, some innate origins in the realm of quasi-Dao. The innate origin of the quasi-Dao world is an indispensable part, otherwise it will be difficult to form a real country. Not only the countless true monarchs in the Hall of Void Heaven are collecting the things of the innate origin, but other forces are also collecting the things of the innate origin. If it was before, things of innate origin may be rare, but today's quasi-Dao world does not lack things of innate origin, and it is easy to find some low-level things of innate origin. The resources here are too rich, even richer than those of some Taoist realms, and there are many brand new resources that are not available in the outside world. Many true monarchs who were originally unwilling to enter the quasi-Taoist realm were overjoyed and bluntly said that they were not in vain. In the blink of an eye, decades have passed. This day, the Zushan temple gathered all the materials, and tens of millions of true monarchs worked together to build the true kingdom. In just a few days, the true kingdom was completely built. If there were not so many people, it would take at least tens of thousands of years to successfully build the true kingdom. Boom! With the Hall of Void Heaven as the core, the boundless territory suddenly condensed into one world, isolating other territories. And the chaotic primordial chi of this world continues to gather in the center, so that the area of Ascent Zushan Temple turns into a chaotic primordial chi ocean, and the palaces are suspended on the chaotic primal chi ocean. Here, just 5.8 breaths in one breath can absorb a large amount of chaotic vitality. If you simply improve your cultivation, you don't even need to use some resources. Just relying on chaotic vitality is enough to quickly improve your cultivation. Obviously, this place has become a real holy place for cultivation. As soon as the true kingdom of the virtual world is 10%, the true monarchs begin to divide their territories. Because there are too many true kingdoms, even if there are tens of millions of true monarchs, they are not afraid of not having territories. Certainly, the human race occupies too much area. If Yi Tian's status is notable, it would be difficult to enjoy so many territories. Although some true monarchs were not convinced, but under the strong suppression of Longhai true monarch, other true monarchs did not dare to refute, allowing Yi Tian to share a large territory with the Terran. And Yi Tian has also become the lord of a large territory of the Zushan true kingdom, leading the fate of the entire human race and a part of the true kingdom. At this time, with the help of the luck and strength of the real country, he can even exert double the combat power.